You've got 30 more seconds to enter the on-time early bird giveaway. Type in hashtag on time and click that like button. We'll get started here very soon, very soon, very soon. Hello?
Hey, I can hear you.
Hello?
Hey, I can hear you. Lots of folks on time today. Joel, I sent a message to you, but I have some lightning dragon shields over here that are on my desk, so I'll send these out.
Jake and I primarily communicate through live chat. We don't really get to talk unless we are live.
Right.
So I'm glad we're live tonight. And I'm glad you're here with us. And Jake, I'm glad you're here. What's up, man? How's your day?
I'm good, man. How was your day?
Good. I like your Austin shirt.
Oh, thank you, dude. Thank you. Andy got that for me.
Got the Texas gear on for the night Annie returns. I dig it.
That's right. That's right. I have the
That's just good branding.
It is, right? It's good. It's just a good way to set up the night for her getting home.
Hey yo. What else you
dude,
got set up for the night getting her home?
Well, I'm gonna try to. Well, she's gonna get in a little bit later than usual, so it seems like Buffalo Wild Wings might be out of the question.
Oh man.
Which brings me to this other thing that I wanted to talk to you about. I don't know if you saw this, but Buffalo Wild Wings got sued for their boneless wings. Did you see this?
No, I did not. Jay Lorshin, congratulations on winning the early bird giveaway. What happened with Buffalo Wild Wings?
All right, so someone essentially alleged that the boneless wings are not wings and that they're indeed chicken nuggets. It is not a wing, and so it's false advertising that it's essentially just a glorified chicken nugget.
Somebody was really bored, huh?
I mean, who knows? Are they going to get away with it? You know, I talked to the bartender the last time I was there, and
on the legal counsel for Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, he's honestly, dude, one of the best servers in Los Angeles. Honestly,
that's awesome.
Always really good service. But I was talking to him about it, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, that's crazy, man. Yeah, it really is." But it's funny because I've talked to some people in the past who have been like, "Yeah, it's not a wing, man. That's just a chicken nugget." And now apparently someone has been like, "You know what? It is a chicken nugget."
Tim C, you are witnessed. Hello, Tim C. I witness you. Yeah, I thought we were already in agreement that boneless buffalo wings are just adult chicken nuggets. I thought we were already I've already come to accept that.
See, I think that people are hunting now because the easy low-hanging fruit, like cruise control, for example, setting your RV on cruise control and then walking away and thinking that it's just gonna pilot itself.
Yeah,
all of those cases have come and gone, and the people who were there to benefit from that, like Red Bull, it gives you wings. There was someone there who definitely sued Red Bull for it not giving them wings, if I recall correctly.
Well,
so it's like you really got to hunt for it, and it apparently the hunt has led to the Buffalo Wild Wings menu, and who knows what the future of boneless wings will be.
I don't know what the future of boneless wings will be, but I do know what the future of this stream is, and that is some March of the Machines cards, chat. I don't know if y'all have gotten to just like explore this set and its many facets, but like the list of sauce flavors at Buffalo Wild Maybe Not Wings, it is extensive. There's so much shit in this set. That should have been the subtitle. March of the Machines, there's so much shit in this set.
There's like 11 or 12 cards that I saw.
It is minimum. Honestly, we have confirmed officially it is at least 11 or 12 cards.
Okay.
Phyrexian Wild Wings.
When was that confirmed?
Just now, actually. You confirmed it here live on. We've got an exclusive here on Jake Controller Magic. Yeah. Okay. Jake has confirmed more than 11 or 12 cards in this set.
Very nice.
Ah,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. This sounds good.
Jay Lorshin, don't DM me on Discord, DM Jake. Jake is going to be sending you a pack of lightning. Are those dual mats or just mats?
These are the dual mat textured back. These are great.
I am
These
so
are really
in
nice.
love with dual mat sleeves. It's all I want to put on my decks. They are so good. Black on the inside really makes the card pop. Yes, Michael, we've got March of the Machines 2 Electric Boogaloo coming up later in the year, like a week or two from now.
You know, here's the thing about the Epilogue Booster is I feel like it can go one of two ways.
Yeah.
It can either be a product that's stacked that has some really good cards in it, or they are banking on people just ordering the crap out of it because it's something new and different, and it's not really going to offer like a lot of power or any sort of like big over the top stuff. Now, I might be completely wrong, and it has its own multiverse legends that appear in it. It probably will, but you know, we still need to learn more about that product to be able to make a good assessment on it.
90% of the responders on the poll so far are either, oh yeah, hyped for March of the Machine, or they're neutral. It's just another set. And honestly, at this point with MTG, I feel like neutral is fine. Like, that's acceptable. There's another set coming out. I will pull 5 to 10 cards from it for my commander decks and or collection, and I will be moving on. You know, I feel like that is a completely appropriate way to interact with this game nowadays, just because it is a constant deluge of Phyrexian oil.
I don't know how they can possibly be over there in a constant state of coming up with new cards.
What do you think their
constantly.
development, like their development team must be the most stressed group of people that have ever lived on this planet.
Can't DM Jake either, says you won't accept DM. Will you just message over then on Instagram or Twitter and just message our Jake and Joel there, and I'll take care of it. I'll look at the DMs things settings later.
We'll get you taken care of. So here's the idea for tonight, chat. We are going to go through this set in a multitude of ways. That's why we called it the definitive set review, full set review. We're going to look at March of the review. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the duo commanders. There are brand new duo commanders from this set. They represent two characters as sort of a team up on their plane, fighting the invasion or either fighting for the invasion. I saw some in the commander product. We have got a good number of those. 16.
And we're rating them as a romantic couple. Is that correct?
I hadn't thought of it from that facet, but probably just how good they are as commander cards. That'll be enough.
All right, that's fair. That's fair too.
We can rate them as romantic couples later. I'd actually be interested to rate Borborygmos and Fibblethip as romantic. Moving on. The next thing we're going to do is Jake and I have gone through and we have pulled our favorite new commander cards from the main set, from cards that you can obtain in just any draft booster, the base set. And that's where we're at in 2023. I got to over clarify which set of the set we will be reviewing in different segments. But that's the part of the set that we're reviewing in that segment, is the available in booster packs favorite commander cards. Then we're going to look at the Multiverse Legends, which is the set within the set for this set. And we're going to look at the most expensive ones of those reprints, baby.
So this will remind you a little bit of like the serialized cards that appeared in Brothers War. They aren't going to be legal in standard, but they are going to be legal in whatever format they would be legal in. It may also remind you a little bit of Mystical Archive from Strixhaven.
Right.
We've seen people compare it to that as well. So yeah, look out for that. That's a good section. That's probably, in my opinion, that's going to be one of the most poppin' sections tonight, because I'm sure that when people are thinking about March of the Machine, there have to be some people that are thinking, you know, how do I get my hands on that?
Well, that's why we've stayed
right?
to like, what are your new commander likelihoods going to be? Which is, we got 16 plus 8, we got 24 new duo commanders, and so your favorite character is probably represented on at least one of these cards in one of the partnerships.
Yes.
So that's going to be a ton of new commanders. And then, yeah, I mean, you're going for the expensive Ragavan reprint, right? Like, we got to go through those. And then our favorite commander cards. So jump in, tag along, let us know what you think in chat.
POA, what's up?
Let's swap over.
Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out tonight.
Yeah, if you haven't hit like yet, go ahead and hit that like button. You are going to see this video on our YouTube later. So what I need you to do right now is type in chat, "Hello YouTube." Wave at everybody watching on YouTube afterwards, and we'll get this little segment going. All right, Jake. So, tier listing the duo commanders. We have got 6 that came from the commander product, and we've got 16. No, sorry, we've got 8 that came from the commander product, and we've got 16 that came from the main set. So
okay, sweet.
We're just going to go in order. We're going to rank these on how good we think they are as a commander. S, A, B, C, D. Starting with Alinda and Azor from Ixalan.
There's going to be some of these characters that I don't even know who they are. So I'm just going to evaluate the card based on how I feel about it, what I think of it.
Absolutely. Of course. I'll start this one. We can go back and forth, Jake. Alinda and Azor. A black, a blue, a white, and 3 for a 6/6 Vampire Knight Sphinx. It's got flying. It's got ward 2. Always love a good ward. Whenever it attacks, you can pay X and Esper. If you do, you draw X cards. And at the beginning of each end step, you may pay 4 life. And if you do, create a number of 1/1 black Vampire Knight creature tokens with lifelink equal to the number of cards you've drawn this turn. And so you've got this kind of like Esper tokens card draw commander. Things going for it: it flies, it has ward. Things against it: I don't love that the card draw is on an attack trigger, personally. Things going very for it is that last ability is passive, baby. You can draw cards in any possible way, pay 4 life, and create that many vampire creature tokens with life link to recuperate that life you're losing. I think that piece has potential if you like play this late as some sort of enchantment, honestly. What do you think of this one?
I think it's definitely an interesting card. I like anything with ward on it. It's kind of like their go-to these days instead of hexproof.
Oh yeah.
I actually do like that it's on the attack, and thankfully it doesn't have to deal damage in order to do it.
That's true.
It's just not really my style of card. I'm just not super into it. It's interesting, but it's not really what I'm interested in doing. I do like that you can go wide with it. It does seem like a commander that everything it needs to do is on it.
Yeah.
We see this these days where if a commander can create creatures, that can be a big deal. So I do think that it's an interesting card. Just at 6 mana, I'm just not really interested in playing it.
The last note I want to make is coming from chat. Erdvidan says, don't forget it's each end step, and that is important here. So if you can draw cards during your opponent's turns on their end step, you can pay 4 life and create a 1/1 according to how many cards you drew. Overall, Jake, I'm kind of feeling a C on this one. What are you feeling?
That's kind of like where I am on it.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe a B, but if you're saying a C, I'm fine with that.
It feels a little expensive, and you need a lot of mana rocks. So let's go ahead and take a look at Moira and Tishar. This is one of the duos that was Phyrexianized. So they succumbed.
Oh, they're in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Well, based on the perspective.
That is true. Yeah, maybe the
Phyrexians
were right.
1 black, 1 black, 1 white, 3 other for 4/5 Phyrexian Spirit Bird. Flying, whenever you cast a historic spell, return target non-land permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. If it would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. Seems pretty fun. Pretty good card.
Historic spell. So Mox.
It's non-land permanent.
Mox Amber. 0 mana. Mox Amber returns. Pick the best creature you want to return from the graveyard. Pick the most bomb thing that you can put in the graveyard and it sticks, instead of getting shuffled back in like Blightsteel Colossus. A 0-cost
or
spell.
blink it. You can blink something too.
Also true. Also true, and you're in the right colors to do that. 5 mana, a little hefty, but honestly, I feel like if it was any lower mana, we'd be talking about how broken this is. Because any 1 mana artifact you play is returning a non-land permanent. Any non-land permanent.
Right. So if you have big stuff in the yard, you can do a lot with it.
That's what I'm saying. Not that Reanimator needed any additional tools, but this seems pretty sick to build around as a commander. And I actually kind of love it in the 99, dude. It's a really good one too.
It seems solid in both.
Yeah. I'm thinking
I would probably go solid B on this.
Yeah,
possibly an A.
No, we were on the same page. I was thinking like B plus.
It's just the casting cost is a little bit high.
Yeah, and it doesn't
blinking whatever comes out of the yard is going to be if it would leave. Oh no, if it would leave the battlefield, exile it. No, so you cannot blink the thing that comes out.
Oh, I see. If it would leave the battlefield, yes, got it. That's that new way to get around that blink love. But that's okay.
Yeah, you cannot blink whatever you bring in. So you do have to. That would definitely prevent it from being an A, in my opinion.
Sure. 100%. I'm with you.
Quantum with the 20 gifted.
Oh my gosh. Yo, I left it up there. All hail the Stream Monarch. I was going to say that from the last time and clear the Stream Monarch for this one. Yo, if you're getting a gifted membership right now, make sure you say thank you. Quantum, you rock, dude.
You can return Urza Saga. Yeah.
You're a madman. Make sure you thank Quantum if you get a gifted membership. Quantum, that's sick, dude. You are definitely the Stream Monarch now. You were at the end of last stream. Oh, hail. 20 times 3? Is that right?
I'm not exactly sure the membership cost.
Yeah.
Oh no, so you can't. You cannot get Urza Saga.
Non-land.
You can. All right, so Metal Spider is saying you can blink things brought back by Moira and Tashar since it's fulfilling the going into exile requirement.
All hail the Stream Monarch. Okay, so the question is exile at the beginning of the next
last two lines of text. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. So if it would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else.
So I guess we would need a judge here, because is it replacing? Is if it would leave the battlefield, exile it instead, overbearing something like Ephemerate?
Someone's gonna know.
Exile target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control.
Blinking is treated as exiling.
Yes.
It fulfills the requirement.
So that was hang on. All right. Yeah, so I believe that the blinking will not work. I believe we're right about that, but I'm seeing a lot of people saying yes, Sundial of the Infinite, end the turn and you would get to keep it.
Yeah,
that's kind of a consistency among cards like this. But I still think solid B for this commander.
B to C from sheer confusion.
Hey, it's not a fun commander card unless it makes us a little confused. Rashmi and Ragavan appearing in one of his 4 or 5 appearances in this set.
Because now I see why we're not doing these as romantic couples.
Dude, Ragavan is their new main character, so you never know. Rashmi and Ragavan. Red, blue, green, 1 for an elf monkey. 2/4. Here we go. Whenever you cast your first spell during each of your turns, exile the top card of target opponent's library and create a treasure token. Then you may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost if it's a spell with mana value less than the number of artifacts you control. And if you don't cast it this way, you may cast it this turn. Everybody give it up for templating and wording on this card. Everybody just give it up. Everybody give it up for the wording on this one. Everybody give it up. You're going to play this and everybody's going to go, let me read that one more time. Let's give it up for the let me read that one more time commander of the set right here. Woo! Look, it's got all of the right. I can't read this.
It's teamer artifacts. That's what it is. It's built into a teamer artifact thing
for sure. Treasure tokens, teamer treasures.
So it's got a little bit of a. It honestly, it has a little bit of like a. What's the card? Why can't I read Chaos Wand? It has a little bit of a vibe like that.
Yeah,
too.
Absolutely.
It's just the impulse kind of thing.
Right. And I'm making fun of how many words it took for them to convey the ruling, the abilities of this card. It is pretty straightforward. When you cast a spell, your first one on your turn, you pick an opponent, exile the top of their library, create a treasure token. You can cast it if its CMC is less than the artifacts you control number of. And if you don't cast it the free way, you can still pay mana and cast it.
And they give you a treasure token in case you need to fix your mana.
Yeah.
It's in colors that are known for being absolutely degenerate.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it's a bunch of keywords that all seem really degenerate nowadays. Exile the top card, treasure token without paying its mana cost, number of artifacts you control. Like, these phrases typically add up to a pretty brutal commander.
Someone said it's just more boring value town good stuff.
Right.
And I kind of agree, dude.
I agree too, but that doesn't mean, like, to me, this is an A.
I was thinking B.5.
Okay, I'm happy with a B on it. We're not judging is it boring.
It could. That's true.
We're judging is it good. And yeah, this is another value town. You know, if you really like Rashmi and Ragavan, rock and roll. If you like Kaladesh, rock and roll.
It may be an A, dude. I think it's kind of an A too. If you were thinking it's an A, that's kind of what I'm thinking as well.
Okay, that was my original feeling, but I'm comfortable with a B on it because I am a little bored by it. We'll call it. I like Tim C's. It's an A, but it's a boring A. Jake, walk us through
the
Saint
problem
Traft.
with it. What holds it back is the fact that when it gets something off the top, it's always going to be random. It's not like you're going to know what you're getting off the opponent's library.
For sure. And so it does specifically say cast, so you can't. If you could get the lands, that would be pretty sick.
It's a chaos. You know what? Make it a B. I'm fine with it being a B. I don't think it's an A.
We are back to B.
It's fine. No, we haven't. The bad boy. Probably still like another year out.
All right. Jake, walk us through Saint Traft and Rem Carulus.
All right, so we have Jeskai for a 3/4 legendary creature spirit human. Whenever Saint Traft and Rem Carolus become tapped, create a 1/1 red human creature token. If this is the first time this ability is resolved this turn. If it's the second time, create a 1/1 blue spirit creature token with flying. If it's the third time, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. Whenever you cast a spell that has Convoke, untap Saint Traft and Rem Carolus.
Okay, so untap shenanigans, but
there's a lot going on here.
It comes with its own untap, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
The initial question, obviously, that I have is how much Convoke support do we have in Jeskai? So we've got 52 options. Let's just sort by
probably enough for a deck, but you'd have to just run all of it.
Right. I'm thinking you sort by rarity here, and you sort of check destroy all non-token creatures. That would work in here. Return to the ranks, getting some creatures back.
This set is actually stocked full of some good Convoke cards. I actually have a few on my list.
That's what I was gonna say. It's, you know, looking, so the uncommons start right here. Looking at the rare Convoke cards, new. So you've got a pretty good amount of rares now that could be cast. And then some of the uncommons, they're probably good. I mean, like, here's just a free flying 4/5 once you've got enough tokens to convoke stuff. Convoke exile spell. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Equal to the number of creatures you control. A free, if you can got the creatures to convoke it out, a free flyer with power equal to the number of creatures you control. So, you know, a lot of cards that are medium, like Seraph of the Masses, become pretty solid players in a deck like this. And so, looking at Rem Carolus, I'm also like, you could run some vehicles in here. That'd be pretty sweet. Because they'd be tapping to crew. So you'd get some extra tokens off of that if you're not casting some Convoke. And 3 power.
You would probably want to run Anointed in here, obviously. That would be...
Absolutely. Yeah, any token, any strong token creature cards go in here. At 3 mana for 3/4, the thing is like, I feel like in my heart of hearts, for this strategy, this is obviously an S, but it's a very narrow build line. This is like, you should probably run as many Convoke spells as you can justify. And then some other tricks for tapping and untapping Saint Traft and Rem. And then good stuff, token cards, right?
Right.
That's kind of where I fall on it. So I feel like it definitely falls back from being an S. It maybe even falls back from being an A because of its narrow build line. What do you think? How do we rank?
That's kind of how I feel about it. A B.
Yeah.
I think it's a B.
It's
pretty
how
sweet, but we also need to remember that this set can't be too pushed because it's not a master set. It's a set that's going to have like standard application. Now I know that this is a commander. I do know that, but I'm just saying, like, because this is at the helm of one of the commander decks, right? Those are the ones that we're doing first.
They're not at the helm. They are like the backup commanders.
In the backup commanders.
Yeah.
Got it.
But they are,
okay,
yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, I think I see chat right now going low B, maybe C. Y'all are very, very underestimating how quickly this will get out of hand. You create those creature tokens. Listen to this. It convokes. You untap it when it convokes something. You're creating creature tokens that can then convoke again. Because they can come in and convoke that same turn. But I'm comfortable with it at B. Very comfortable with it at B. Because it is a narrow build line.
Yeah.
You gotta run convoke cards. And any commander that limits you on your cards, I think goes a little bit further down. Let's take a look at Shalai and Halar. A white, a green, a red, and 1. For a 3/3 flying vigilant angel elf. Whenever 1 or more +1 counters are put on a creature you control, Shalai and Halar deals that much damage to target opponent. My kingdom for this to say any target and not target opponent. Because then
it goes for the face. It's just like face is the place. And it's going for the face.
That's all it wants to do is face it up, bro. This is a more powerful commander than we've seen so far, in my opinion. Because you know how easy it is to like dump just 3 counters on something? Every time you use Ozolith to dump all those +1/+1 counters onto something else, however many, I mean, we just saw all will be one.
Chad is saying it's an S. Oh, because there's an infinite combo. What is the combo I'm missing? I want to just troll chat and say it's a D.
Well, look, it's not. Okay, so it's not
How can
commander
we make this
damage.
one of the most disliked videos of all time?
Go back into Commander 2017 again. Shalai and Halar doing damage with this ability
is
not commander damage, y'all. But yeah, it's another thing like Ballista, right? When you gain life, put a counter on it. This is the Heliod.
It's just redundancy.
Ballista.
It's a commander that offers.
But dude, fly +1/+1 counters and damage flying around. Yeah, Sun Crowned and Red Terror. Right. It's a walking ballista out of your command zone. That's an excellent way to put it. Excellent way to put it, Hugh. Is that it's walking ballista out of your command zone, and you can't.
It's probably an S then. If it's a walking ballista out of the command zone, then it's probably an S.
Kind of walking ballista out of your command zone.
We'll say an A.5 just so that we can leave a little bit of room for something to be better. But it does seem kind of good.
Okay.
I wasn't looking at it as a ballista, but now I see it.
Well, you saw the colors green, red, white, and your brain went, "I'm not interested."
Well, here's the thing: is I do play green, white in Carador, so it's like I like those colors, but they do have to be paired up with one of the colors I do like, which are any of the Grixis colors,
black or blue or red, right?
Yeah, the one of those has to be in it. Really quick, Bad Boy, thanks for shouting us out, helping us get a little likes there. Thank you. Everybody, if you are enjoying the video, click like and subscribe. Great way to support the channel.
All hail the stream monarch, Quantum. Thank you for the 20 gifted. You're out of your mind. All hail.
Thank you, sir.
All hail.
All right, next up. Now, this is one that we've seen for a minute. Goro and Satoru.
I've already started a build on this one, dude. I've got a version 1 of this deck already. I love this commander.
Oh, nice. Well, it's a nice cheap 3 mana.
Love it.
For a 3/4. Whenever one or more creatures you control that entered the battlefield this turn deal combat damage to a player, create a 5/5 red dragon spirit creature token with flying. That's a nice little ability there. And then it has haste built in. Creatures you control gain haste until end of turn for 1 red and 1 other. It's a toolbox. It just pretty much does everything you need it to do. It is it's the engine, baby. Just build around it. I still think it's casual, dude. I think it's pretty chill. I would give it probably a solid B, but it's still fun, and it's in the colors that actually do things.
So here's my work in progress version of it. It's kind of a weird balance between cards like Criddle, which lets things go unblocked, and then also dragon payoffs like Kolagon. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, creatures you control get +1/+0. And so it ends up being this, at least my version of it, ended up being this weird version. You can see, like, Rite of the Raging Storm has never found a better home, man. Each player's creating a 5/1 trample hasting sack it. Things are dealing combat damage, you're drawing cards. You know,
that's sweet.
It's a lot of, like, we like haste, but we also don't mind cards like Tetsuo that are just a 2/1. I mean, a 1/3 for 2 that allows it and any of your other things with just 1 to sneak in and deal that damage that you need. And so,
that's good. I do like that.
Right,
that builds into it nicely.
I agree with you. I think it's a B. It's another pretty narrow line. You need to really choose how to build this, what you want to focus on, because you could go just straight haste dragons and let this be some kind of pseudo dragon commander. But this is one of the very first ones that really caught my eye in this product, just because I like this sort of 2 things in 1. I really think it captures the idea of having 2 legendary characters as 1 legendary creature as your commander. I think this captures that idea so well, because Satoru lets you get through and deal damage. Goro uses that to create dragons. That's sweet. Big fan.
Like, you could just go tiny dashers and just like dash a bunch of little guys,
right? And
then just get dragon profit from them too,
dude. Exactly. It's just dragon value. You don't even have to run. I remember having this discussion the day this card was previewed in our Discord. Make sure you hop into our Discord. We were like, so many people were like, oh, dragon tribal, and I was like, dude, a bunch of 1/1s that say can't be blocked, and the dragons are just 5/5 flyers. Nobody's going to turn down an endless supply of 5/5 flyers.
Right.
That'll be fine by itself. We don't need any dragon payoffs. But I am with you. I think around a B. Feels comfortable for this one. So let's take a look at Catilda and Lier. Blue, white, green for a 3/3 human. Whenever you cast a human spell, target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to its mana cost. This card feels absolutely busted to me.
Yeah, it's very good. It has blue, so it's going to be very strong because it has blue. It's in one of the
most expansive tribes in the entire game.
Yeah, human is a deep tribe.
We're not asking, is it boring, chat? I'm seeing some C's for boring. I'm not asking if it's boring. I'm saying that every single
it is
human
essentially
lets your
Time is saying
instants and
Snapcaster tribal.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so much value, dude.
Dude, Time Walk? Time Walk?
Narrow,
play a 1-mana human
only,
Time Walk again?
It's narrow only in the sense that you have to build humans in order to get the most out of it. That is the only way that this card is at all narrow. Other than that, you can just pretty much, like, what kind of spells do you want to put in your graveyard?
Right.
Do you want to, like, pitch big spells and then play humans? And I mean, like, it seems pretty good. You know, it's in green, so you can ramp. So if you do want to play big stuff, you could get to those casting costs.
It's Value Town.
Yeah, I mean, it's also three. It's also 3 mana.
Right.
So it's like when something's 3 mana, it's very hard not to see it as just like, oh well, it's the minimum amount of colors that you can possibly do and cast in order to play this spell.
I'm hesitant.
So yeah, I mean,
I'm hesitant to say it's narrow too, because I know that it is only one creature type that we're pulling from, but it is the deepest creature type that exists. You have your pick of some of the best creatures that have ever been printed in green, white, and blue when you're looking at humans. So, I mean, I feel like the discussion is, it's definitely A. Does it push over into S?
Yeah, it's probably an S. I know it's the best creature type, and no, I know that human isn't narrow. I'm just saying, like, that is how you build this commander.
For sure,
you
absolutely.
build it as humans.
You pick 25 value humans. You pick 25 value instants and sorceries, and you fill out the rest of your deck, run 36, 38 lands, and call it a day.
You have to think though, like, if you're, I mean, the instants and sorceries you need to pick need to be impactful enough that when you play a human at sorcery speed and you're getting something back, unless you're playing a human with flash, for example, if you're playing a human with flash, it's going to be different.
Right.
But yeah, like, you have to think, like, when you are playing the humans, you're going to be getting something back that you may not actually need right in that moment. But I mean, casting a Path to Exile and then playing a human and casting another Path to Exile is never going to be bad. You know, it's never going to be terrible to get double value out of your removal, which is probably how I would just play it. It's just like,
removal and card draw,
dude. Beast with it. Get an extra, whatever.
Teferi's Protection, any of your card draw spells. Just out of curiosity, Leo doesn't actually fit the bill here, but it definitely would be in the deck. I mean, just looking at the first 8 humans with flash, all of these cards are pretty sick. And we're only on the first 2 rows. Even getting down 2 more rows, you're like, oh, yep, all those cards are pretty solid too. And that's just the flash ones. That's before you get any deeper. So yeah, I think that as far as strong ones go, tell us about Slimefoot and Squee. Little Jund one. This is the last of the Commander product duos.
Yeah, 1 green, 1 red, 1 black for a 3/3 fungus goblin. Whenever Slimefoot and Squee enters the battlefield or attacks, create a 1/1 green sapperling creature token. And then for Jund and 1 other, you can sacrifice the sapperling, return Slimefoot and Squee, and up to 1 other target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. So, it's a pretty big deal, man. It's a very, very strong card. It's like, throw big stuff in the graveyard, get it back, profit. It's nice for, like, any sort of sacrifice effects as well, because you're going to be able to get a 1/1 just for it entering.
You never have to pay commander tax for this commander at all. It just keeps returning like squee.
As long as you have a Saproling, you can return this and up to one other target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Straight up. Any creature.
Straight up. There is no exile it at the next end step or anything like that.
Nah,
I mean, it's busted. It's busted, dude. I would put this at an A or an S as well.
I would put this at an S. I was actually going to say an S. This is like a kick-ass Jund commander. That's also Slimefoot and Squee, so it's fun as hell too.
But you need to have a Saproling. So what is, you know what I like about this is, wait, can we go back to it for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
So sacrifice the Saproling.
Return it and up to one other target creature
as long
from your
as this
graveyard
is
to the battlefield.
in the yard, you can just use that ability.
Oh yeah. It's silly.
I mean, it is a case for Maskwood Nexus, because being able to create Saprolings and make sure that ability is online is a pretty big deal. So changelings are going to be good in there.
Oh yeah, changelings, absolutely, just like anyone. I wanted to see what the top Saproling creating cards are.
The Dryad, dude. Dryad is so freaking
Dryad's
good.
an obvious one in this one. You know, Michaeloth's as well. Spore Mound is a Saproling every time you drop a land. X11 green Saprolings onto the battlefield. So there's enough. I would say you don't want to go too deep on the like, we're gonna play Saprolings with this.
That's what holds it back. That's why I think maybe it is an A.
Maybe an A.
Maybe it is an A. Because Saprolings are just not. I mean, yeah, it's fine. It's interesting. It's cool. I think it's an easy A.
I think I'm with you on easy A there. Easy A.
It does come with the Saproling on the ETB and the attack.
Well, that's why it's an A in my opinion. That's what bumps it up into A territory immediately, is because it provides its own. It provided its own gas basically. But board wipe, you got to figure out how to get a Saproling back on the field or play a changeling. Maskwood Nexus. We'll leave it at A for now. I mean,
you can always just. I would go big mana, but you can always just move it to the command zone, play it again, get the Saproling.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
And I would probably, since there's red in it, I would probably run a couple enchantments that give haste. And the reason is so that you can play it and attack somebody who might have shields down, so you can get the extra Saproling. And then the other thing I would do is if I am getting big stuff back to the battlefield, I would like to be able to swing with it the turn it comes out. So I would probably run a couple haste enablers.
Yeah, anger.
If it's going to be big stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Anger. I like fervor. People don't like fervor, but I'm a fan of it. And it's also in the colors for Rhythm of the Wild and
all the haste enablers.
Like that. Yeah.
The Kraken Jank pointed out that this little Saproling has a tiny little Saproling spear. That's pretty cute.
Nice.
Honestly, it's pretty cute. Baral and Kari Zev, hailing from Kaladesh. So these are from the main set. A red, a blue, and one for a 2/4 human. It's got first strike. It's got menace. Whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, you can cast a spell with lesser mana value that shares a card type with it from your hand without paying its mana cost. More free spells. So if you can cast, like Treasure Cruise, oh boy. You're pretty much casting, you're drawing a ton of cards, and then you're also casting anything from your hand that is less than the cost of Treasure Cruise before it got reduced. If you don't, create First Mate Ragavan, a legendary 2/1 red monkey pirate creature token, gains haste. Mana cost, very friendly on this. Potentially combo crazy. Yet another, like Kraken Jang said, yet another Ragavan in this set. Ragavan shows up everywhere.
People like Ragavan.
Free spells for me are really hard to put at B tier or lower.
Yeah.
Free spells for me feel like it just gotta go in A. I'm less on the token creature. Pretty low impact token creature. but it can be sacrificed to something, you know.
It still feels kind of like dialed back to me. I mean, if you are playing delve stuff, then sure, it's like you can cascade into some pretty big shit.
Yeah.
But
I mean, think about all the convoke stuff. You're creating the token that'll help you convoke. The convoke costs get reduced, but it still sees a mana cost, so you get a free card, play a free spell, instant or sorcery played from your hand. It also has to match instant or sorcery, which might actually hold you back at some points, because it's got to share a type with it, card type with it.
Right.
And there are no spells that are instant sorceries.
I do like that it has First Strike and Menace, though I don't really see it much as an attacker.
No, I would play this as sort of a pseudo enchantment.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I'm having a hard time putting free spells next to have an unblockable hit somebody with haste and make a dragon.
I guess it could go at A, but we still have a lot of stuff to get through here.
Yeah, we do. Tell us about Borborygmos and Fibblethip.
Sure, Teamer and 2 other for 6/5 Cyclops Homunculus. Whenever Borborygmos and Fibblethip enter the battlefield or attacks, draw a card. Then you may discard any number of land cards. When you discard one or more cards this way, Borborygmos and Fibblethip deals twice that much damage to target creature. And then for 1 blue and 1 other, you can put it into its owner's library, 3rd from the top. So that should kind of remind you a little bit of the Fibblethip side of things there.
Kraken Jank, thank you for
it says that's my boy.
Thank you for waiting till the appropriate time to re-up your token creature membership. Appreciate you. Unfortunately, I feel like this one is a C for me. You're drawing a card, discarding any number of land cards. There's just a lot of hoops to jump through for then it to only be able to target creatures, not planeswalkers, not battles, not players. And then it doesn't even go back to your hand. It like disappears into your library.
When you discard 1 or more cards this way, it deals twice that much damage to target creature.
And it has to be lands. I don't see a lot of super redeeming qualities on this one. It doesn't really excite me at all. Yeah.
Jank, I'm sorry, man, but this card sucks.
I'm thinking D.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's not think too much on that one. We'll just go on to the next one here.
Jiru and Hazaret.
Oh, this is cool.
White, red,
That's
red,
right,
too.
because Hazaret is still alive.
Hazaret survived with an arm cut off, but look, she's got a Lazotep arm now, so she is back and ready to murder again. White, red, red, 2 for a human god 5/4. As long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, they have vigilance and haste. And when they attack, you look at the top 6, exile a legendary creature card from among them, put the rest on the bottom. Until end of turn, you can cast the exile card without paying its mana cost. So, it's a Legends Matter card for Legends Matter. It's honestly, I don't really like this one, y'all. I don't really like this one.
Okay. It's good for Hellbent and that kind of thing, but it feels like it wants to be Voltron, but then at the same time, it's like you want to have legendary creature cards in your deck.
Right.
I don't know, dude. I don't like it.
No, I don't like it either. I love it in the 99
because Hazaret. Oh,
I talk about this all the time.
So good in the past.
Oh yeah, and Hazaret's an awesome character. Yo, one of my favorite decks from last year. I talk about this all the time. My Dihada deck. It's a legendary Mardu Reanimator deck. This card absolutely going in the 99 of that. But as a commander, I just don't like the build around here. I'm kind of on a D as well. I think it's not as good as a Linda and a Zor.
Wait, can we look at it again?
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to read one thing on it.
As long as you have 1 or fewer, it has Vigi and haste, and when it attacks, you look at the top 6, you can exile a legendary creature card. Like, it's a god and it doesn't even have indestructible.
Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order.
You can just kill.
What I don't like about that is that you might accidentally
C or
you
D.
might accidentally go past something that you want too.
Right.
I don't like when cards do that.
This is not Winota Light. Winota drags them right onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. If this did that, we'd be having a different conversation. This just lets you cast.
Let's just make it a C.
Yeah.
C for see you later.
C for see you later. Tell us about Drana and Linvala. Ugh.
1 black, 2 white, and 1 other for a 3/4 vampire angel flying Vigi. Activated abilities of creatures your opponents control can't be activated. And Drana and Linvala has all activated abilities of all creatures your opponents control. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to activate those abilities. So it's like you don't get anything and I get your stuff for creatures with activated abilities. It seems like a commander for a meta and not something that I... Yeah, for me, it's just...
This is a sweaty as hell card. It's
a super sweaty card.
We need a second tier list that is for jerks.
If you're in a meta where players have a lot of stuff with a lot of activated abilities, you might want to play it. But otherwise, it's just like... I mean, if you build around shutting off how the game plays for other people, then I think there's probably a case for the card being good. If you can just play knowing that they don't get any of that,
yeah,
and that's how you want to play, then I mean
it shuts down entire commanders just by itself.
Right.
This is a lightning rod. Extra.
It's just a lightning rod.
Oh,
so
for
I
sure.
mean, if you want to talk about a card, anytime a card shuts down how the game plays for other people, it's like Blood Moon, Winter Orb.
Right.
It's like, are they good? Sure. Will they be hated?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So that would be like the kind of thing that's just like if someone comes with a commander, like you said, that does have an activated ability. I'm not at S with it.
No,
I would say A or B.
A. It's just a hate piece, but I think that this card is incredible.
It is a stacks commander.
Yeah,
correct.
It's just a hate piece. It's a jerky way to play, but you could win for sure in a competitive meta. It's definitely one you want to give some attention to. Yeah, it's just a brutal
You're
card.
Getting killed so fast if it's in the command zone.
Right.
The art is perfection, though.
Brutal card. Errant and Giada. Little Capenna action here. 3 mana here. Love that. And it's blue-white 1. For a 2/3 flashing flying commander. You can look at the top card of your library at any time, and you can cast spells with flash or flying from the top of your library. Value Town, USA. Flash. They gotta be flash. It does not say instance. So you got to look and see in the commander. Oh, we'll just go blue white. O flash sort EDH rec rank. So Hullbreaker Horror, Aven Mind Sensor, Archivist of Ogma, Shimmermere. Some of these are granting flash, so you're seeing us skip those. Cathar Commando popping up again. Venser. Resto Angel, Snapcaster, Guardian of Faith. Really good cards.
Kind of like what 2012 Castle says, Tribal S and Generic B. Yeah, if you're building it into flyers, that could be just devastating, the card advantage that comes from this. If you have enough flyers in it, and it being the commander of your deck, and you could plan for it easily. I think it's very strong.
Yeah, I actually would rank this one an A. I don't think it's an S, just because Flash and Flying to me is a little bit more narrow than Catilda and Lierre's human thing. Especially because all of your best flyers are going to be in blue and white. And all of your best flying payoffs, like the Angel that gets cheated in if you've got enough flyers and gives all your flyers indestructible. Stuff like that. All that's in white and blue.
Go flying and put a Vidalcan Orrery. Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like it's an A. But
look up flash plus flying.
Not quite an S. Yeah, let's look at it. 82 cards with flash and flying.
Resto Angel is an amazing card.
Yep. Thrix.
I like Spectral Sailor too.
Overcharged. Research Thief. That's not as good here.
Wrath.
Thunderclap. I mean, look at that. That's what I'm talking about right here. Flash flying. Other creatures you control with flying get +1/+1. Literally a commander made to run Thunderclap Wyvern in.
Yeah.
Feels like an A.
Yeah.
You want to talk to us about Dinosaur Vampire here?
Yeah, this is one of my favorites. 2 white, 2 green, and 3 other for Galta and Mavrin. Or Mavrin. 12/12 Dinosaur Vampire. Trample. Whenever you attack, choose 1. You can create a tapped and attacking XX green dino. Creature token with trample where X is the greatest power among other attacking creatures. So that is not Galta. You would not count the 12. Or you could create X 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink where X is the number of other attacking creatures. So go wide, go big.
Either way.
It's a pretty fun card, man.
I can hear the art of this card. I think I watched Jurassic Park too much as a kid. When I see a T-Rex mouth open and roaring like that, I can hear it.
I would want to watch a cartoon about like a day in the life of just like Mavrin wakes up. He's like, where the hell are we? And Galta's like, oh, I got scared last night. I had to move the house.
You think that's his? That's it. That's
100%. You think Galta lives in there?
No. In his own backpack? Yeah. I think he folds up into his own backpack.
Of course Mavrin lives in there. That's where
now I'm picturing him sitting on a little rocking
a
chair, sipping his blood, his hot blood to wake up in the morning.
I mean, it's a powerful seat. Let's just say that. That's
Dude,
a nice spot to have on the battlefield.
This is big and dumb. Look, it's big and dumb. You want Concordant Crossroads, and the thing is the attacking trigger is awesome, except for it doesn't really help itself. It needs help because the first one doesn't trigger off itself, and then X is the number of other attacking creatures. You're only creating 1. And so it really needs an army or another big thing. Plus it needs haste. Plus it's 7 mana. It's big and dumb and I love it. I can hear it, but I just don't feel like... I definitely think it's a B. I think it's better than Alinda and Azor and Jiro and Hazaret. I think it's
B for big.
Yeah, I think it's about as good as create dragons with unblockables. You know, it's create dinosaurs off your big stuff that you already have.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where I fall on it. Hidetsugu and Kairi. Hidetsugu's like, have y'all seen my expensive cards? A black, 2 blue, and 2 for 5/4 ogre demon dragon. Flying. When Hidetsugu and Kairi enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. Anytime I see this, anytime I see an ability like that, I'm reminded of that Esper Planeswalker commander that cares about the top of your library. And Eminatu, I think. Be cool in the 99 of that. And then when it dies, exile the top card of your library. Target opponent loses life equal to its mana value. If it's an instant or sorcery, you can cast it without paying its mana cost. So I feel like you want to play this in a deck that's got some sack outlets and some big ol' sorceries that you can finagle the top of your library. So Hidetsugu Kairi enters, finagles the top, put a huge sorcery on top, like Rise of the Dark Realms. Return all creatures from all graveyards onto your battlefield. So you put that on top, you sack Hidetsugu and Kairi, you exile Rise of the Dark Realms. Target opponent loses all of the mana of Rise of the Dark Realms. I think it's 8 or 9 off the top of my head. And then you get to cast it for free. Shoo-wee! But how good is that really? That was a lot of hoops.
To kill it. You cast it to kill it.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting, right? You want it to die. So maybe a little reanimator built in, so you're not just constantly having to...
I've been testing this with clone spells all week.
Oh.
How is it going?
A Mantastic. Now, hang on. That's interesting. Okay. You clone it, you have to sacrifice it immediately. So you get the ETB, you get the dice trigger. Ooh, hang on. Clone deck.
It's amazing, you say. Totally nuts.
I think that this is definitely a B. I think that it could.
I mean, you have
probably
to play with
be
mana rocks.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a blue black deck. It's gonna have mana rocks in it.
Yeah, you gotta just have a pile of rocks.
But pushing up into A, just because mass manipulation, you definitely don't want to play in this deck because you got to pay into X for mass manipulation. To my memory of mass manipulation, hang on.
Time-taking clone deck.
Mass manip, yeah, you got to pay X in. So you would cast it for free and then gain control of 0. I like it. It's splashy. I think it lives at B for me. I think that it's one of those where it's like in the clone version of it.
Interesting.
Sweet. You comfortable
It's
with a B on that?
For sure. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Look at some cats.
Next up, we have. I love the art on this.
Me too.
It's way over the top and crazy.
Wayne Reynolds goes hard, dude.
Inga and Asika, 1 blue, 1 green, 2 other for a 4/4. Legendary creature, human god. Creatures you control have vigilance and tap. Add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a creature spell. And whenever you cast a creature spell, if 3 or more mana from creatures was spent to cast it, draw a card. I love it because it's everything that you need it to do. It's just like absolutely busted. We were just talking about those enchantments that you play. That way you draw a card when you play creatures of a certain requirement. And this is just a card like one of those, except on your commander. And it lets you ramp into big stuff. It's pretty much like play big stuff.
Dude, I'm with Josh.
It's a generically good Simic card.
Exactly.
You know?
It's another generically good Simic card. Yo, I'm with Josh on this one. It says, it has 2 phrases on it. Add 1 mana of any color, and it grants it to itself because it's creatures you control, not other. And draw a card. That's all you need to know. Yep. That is it.
Yep.
Fix your mana perfectly and draw cards.
It's an easy A.
Easy A.
S.
Easy A and a potentially reevaluate S. We're almost towards the end of our list here. Kagla and Yadaro. Big Gruul smash, baby.
I love this card too, dude.
I know.
I really love this card as well.
Green, green, red, red 2. When it ETBs, choose 1. It gains trample and haste until end of turn, or it bites target creature you don't control. And that's a 7/7. It's killing almost everything on the battlefield and surviving. And in this bottom part, man, this is the part that makes it a commander bummer because you got to run a bunch of like return to hand effects and you're in green and red. Pay 4 with green and red, discard Kagla and Yadaro. Already you're like, wah, wah. Destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment and shuffle it into your library or graveyard, then draw a card. Yeah, it's 100% a 99 card. I love it in the 99.
It's for the 99, dude.
It's just as a commander, which is what we're doing here. I feel like it has to be like
probably like a D.
Yeah, I would say a D.
A C or a D.
You can't use that bottom ability. And
it's a minimum 99. It's a fantastic versatile card for the 99.
Yeah, you ignore the bottom as commander for sure, but a 6 mana creature that's a 7/7 with no trample permanently,
and it just comes in and has haste or it fights something. It's not enough, but it is amazing in the 99.
Oh yeah,
it's great in the 99.
It's just not enough as a commander.
Yeah,
Croxy and Kunaros, baby.
Yeah, this one's fun. 1 black, 1 white, 1 red, 3 other for 6/6, and it's an Elder Giant Dog. Vigilance, Menace, Lifelink. Whenever Croxa and Kunaros enters the battlefield or attacks, you may exile 5 cards from your graveyard. When you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, and it sticks. It just stays there. It's good.
This is good.
It's got also a bunch of abilities on it that are all really nice. Vigi, Menace, Lifelink.
Menace is strong, bro. I've been playing for the last month and a half.
Lifelink is strong as well. Lifelink is very good.
Oh my god, yes. Highly underrated. Menace and Lifelink. Yeah. But I've been playing a deck for the last month and a half that creates tokens with Menace, and the decisions that it forces on your opponent are always uncomfortable. And that's when you know you're doing well, is when your opponents are having to make hard decisions. Enters the battlefield, you're automatically getting something. It's a May. You do have to have 5 cards in your graveyard, but you're in the right colors to get that on board.
Easy peasy. If you're playing stuff like Faithless Looting, if I were playing this, I'd be playing a bunch of mana rocks, I'd be playing a bunch of big stuff, and I'd be playing a bunch of looting effects like some of my favorite cards like Thrill of Possibility, Faithless Looting. I would just pitch shit to the yard, and then I would get this thing out as soon as possible.
Yes, dude.
One of the best things would be like a like a Sepulchral Primordial at some point in the game. Being able to get something back that gets a bunch of other stuff back from your opponents is really good.
Or like Burning Rune Demons, so you can search up anything you want on your library. I mean,
100%.
This is so your type of commander with the discarding strategy. You're right. I didn't even think of it from that strategy. But
yeah,
I mean, also you're in white. A Montastic said you're blinking this thing. Dude, yes, ephemerate this thing. They go to try and remove it. Whoops. I blink it, I get its thing again.
Sun Titan is in this deck. That kind of stuff. Oh my
god, dude. Yes.
Yeah.
This to me is an A.
It's a great card. Yeah, easy A.
It pulls off of S because it's in Mardu and it's 6. So it's chonky. You know, it ain't gonna see CEDH. Whereas like Catildan Lier, arguable. Probably not.
Sure. It doesn't have protection, and it is an expensive commander.
Right.
I mean,
but it's in the colors that you can ephemerate it, bro. Just whenever there's a lot of ways to get around that. Lots of ways to get around that.
You do need to build it into a deck that has a lot of yard support, though.
Oh my god, that's got to be your whole thing. You need to be milling cards off top of your library as much as possible. Let's look at Rankle and Torbrand. Red, black, 1. 3/4. Flying first strike haste. Love it. When it deals combat damage to a player or battle, like that less. Deals combat damage. Ugh. Choose any number though. Love that. Each player creates a treasure token. Each player sacks a creature. Hell yeah. We're definitely doing that one. And if a source would deal damage to a player or battle this turn, it deals that much damage +2 instead. We're probably doing that one.
Torbrand. Yeah.
This one to me is aggressively medium. I don't necessarily want to be giving away treasures. We got to build.
It's honestly just okay.
Yeah. You got to build token strategies to get the sacrifice engine really going against your opponents and to your. Yeah, I mean, it's just.
It does have sack built into it, which is nice. I like that.
Right.
I don't know if I'd put it at D.
No, I'm thinking C or no. I don't think it's as good as these. I would rather play this list. And that's when we get late in these tier lists. I'm always looking at them like, okay, how do these compare against each other to the others?
I mean,
in the
a
4/5.
It is a 4/5, which is pretty good.
3/4.
No, it's. Oh no, 3/4.
Yeah, 3/4 for 5. But it does. If a source would deal damage to a player this turn, it deals that much damage +2.
I think it's a C, dude.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. All right. Big Froggy.
We could just put this one at S and move on past it.
We have covered this one on the channel at length.
Too much shit.
I've got a whole video live stream replay. Go check it out. We've got a community build of Thalia and the Gitrog monster. Go check out that video. We break this card down and build a whole deck around it at length and test it a little bit. It's so stupidly good. Yeah, this is just like
it's so stupidly good.
This is definitely the most pushed, I think, of this set. Maybe outside of Catildan Lier, but I'm going S. We got 4 more left. Yargul and Multani.
It's so bad, dude. It's so bad, but I love it.
18-6.
It's so bad.
Chat, stop saying S. People watching on YouTube, we did not ask them to say yes. They are saying yes of their own volition.
I would build this with obviously Concordant Crossroads because you got to attack with the turn you play it.
Dude, we broke this one down too.
But what's kind of cool about this card, dude, is oh god, Yargul and Multani is S, says Food Time. I would 1,000,000% build this into like unblockable type effects and make sure that I can at least get through with it. But it is nice that you get to run good protection spells in green. Green has a ton of stuff to protect it, which is good.
So this is another one where we have a community build of Yargul and Multani. We built this one when it previewed, and we built it completely around Gerard Golgari Lichlord, paying 3, sacking it. Each opponent loses life equal to the sacrificed creature's power. And so it's like, go get Gerard.
It's not bad, yeah.
With all of the tutors that we run. Go get Gerard. Search it up. Get it onto the battlefield. If it dies, resurrect it with any of our resurrection. This is mostly like a backdoor Gerard Golgari Lichlord deck that just happens to have access to a guaranteed 18 power creature to sacrifice and drain everybody for 18.
Yeah, Rancor's pretty good here.
I can't in good conscience go above a C. For the meme, I feel like it gets out of D.
Yeah.
I feel like I am never ever going to sit down at a pod and somebody goes, is everybody cool with me playing my Yargle and Multani deck? I just
can't. It's like, yes, obviously.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure, please.
Tell us about Zimone and
I
Dina,
do like
Jake.
the art on it. All right, this one is just Sultai, 1 blue, 1 green, 1 black for a 3/4 human dryad. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. And sacrifice another creature, draw a card. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. If you control 8 or more lands, repeat the process once. So it's very strong. It's in colors that are generally known for being absolutely busted. You're getting a 3/4 for 3, which isn't that bad by itself. Then it has this little lose 2, gain 2, so there's a drain built into it. But yeah, that tap ability is a pretty big deal, man.
It's another generically good. I would say, another generic Simic
we could
commander
just put it at A and be like, yes, it's a generically good A.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at... Yeah, it makes me want to move cards like Baral and Kari Zev. I feel like an Errant and Giada. Like I want to pull those down to B based on the strength of this one. I'm not 100% on it being an S. Each opponent losing 2 life, I'm in on it being an S. Target opponent loses 2 life, strong A to me. Sack a creature if you've got more than 8 lands, draw 2 cards, put 2 lands on the battlefield tap. That's pretty insane. And you're in Sultai. So you're getting that back. Or you're sacking tokens. I know it says draw your second card each turn. I get that. But you're overestimating the difficulty of drawing 2 cards on each of your opponent's turns. I think A. I'm sitting A there. I'm going to tell you about Zergo and Ojutai. We got 2 left. And then
Did you want to do those move downs?
Yeah, we can. Let's get these other 2 on the board and then we can do some adjustments here. Flying Hasting Jeskai 2. 4/4. Has hexproof as long as it entered the battlefield this turn. Whenever one or more dragons you control deal combat damage to a player or battle, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, rest on the bottom. You may return one of those dragons to its owner's hand. So I look at this and I go, okay, I don't even want to build dragons around this. It does everything it needs. It's a little toolbox creature that comes out with flying and haste when it's a good opportune moment for you and they're unblocked in the air, you know. It can't get removed at instant speed if it's entered the battlefield this turn, so you're good there. It attacks, deals combat damage because you were prepped for that. Look at the top 3, put 1, come back. So it's 4 commander damage plus a card into your hand for 5 mana. I feel like this is very medium.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I think I would go like maybe, C.
I think C, dude. 4/4. I mean, you're not even getting to commander damage quickly. If it was 5, at least that's 4 hits. No, 5 hits. Shit. Yeah, I mean, you gotta go 6 hits with this thing. Yeah, I just not a huge fan there. And then Sirach and Goreclaw, 6 mana, 6/5. Trample other creatures you control have trample, and whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on it, gains haste. Sick big 99 green card. Sick 99 card.
Yeah. Just big green.
As a commander,
meh.
Yeah, it doesn't have draw on it. You're gonna need to pack your commander deck mono green with all of those enchantments that say if it's a big creature at the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card, etc.
Yeah. Just a man bear. It's a human bear.
If we were rating these for the 99, this one's getting an S in creature decks. I mean, it's just busted in that kind of deck. But other than that, I think it's a strong. I think it's a B. What do you think?
Tom, thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I'm actually fine with it at like B or C. I think it's for the 99. I just don't think it's really a commander.
So off the rip, Baral and Karizev and Errant and Giotto are the two that I think would roll down to B just based off the strength of Zimone and Dina, Crocs and Kuneros. I mean, I'm comfortable with all of these at A for sure. I'm comfortable with these at C, at S. I mean, honestly, what do you think, Jake? I like this list.
I think the list looks good. There's nothing that I would move around either. I think the cards that are worse than Yargle are actually worse than Yargle as commanders. Sadly, Jenks Fibblethip ended up at the bottom of the list tonight.
I know, I hate that. Looking at S, we got Catilda and Lier, Thali and Gitrog. A, we ended up with Shalai and Halar, Slimefoot and Squee, Dran and Limvala, Inga and Asika, Crux and Kuneros and Zimone and Dina. Moira and Tushar, Rashmi and Ragavan, Saint Traft, Rem, Goro and Satoru, Galta, Hidetsugu, Serac, Baral, Karizev, and Giotto all around a B. We got our Vampire Sphinx, our Jiru, Hazaret, Rankle, Yargle, and Zergo at C. And then, yeah, unfortunately, our little Fibblethip and this was probably made for constructed duo. Both land in D. That
Q
is
Murphy says Shalai to S. I don't know. Did we? Where was Shalai?
Shalai is our potential Heliod walking ballista out of the command zone victory. I think that there's an argument for a few of these in A to be moved up to S, depending on you being a better commander deck builder than me and Jake. But
which is probably not a tall order for me anyway.
Probably not super difficult to pull off. That is our tier list for the duo commanders. You gotta let us know in the comments down below, people watching on YouTube. Hey, live chat, make sure you say bye to people on YouTube right now. Make sure that you let us know down in the comments whether you agree or disagree with us, and we'll catch you on the flippity.
Bye.
Bye, everybody on YouTube. Okay, tier list.
Well, that was a tier list.
Content, baby. Who is excited for a tier list? Hooray!
We'll see if we can condense it down, because we'll see if people want to watch an hour and a half tier list, but it was fun.
People love that shit.
All right, Hugh. Thanks for hanging out.
We'll wrap up with favorite commander cards. You want to go to most expensive Multiverse Legends?
Yeah, that's probably a good way. Good spot to go.
Yeah, I know you're ready to do that one. Just kill this, kill this. You know what? Let's do a... You want to do a giveaway?
Yeah, we could do a giveaway. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out tonight. 363 concurrent viewers.
Hashtag Duo Legends. Enter that.
Help us get to 169 likes.
Hit that like button. Type in hashtag Duo Legends. You can copy paste it just like I typed it there. Hashtag Duo Legends. Hit that like button. I'm gonna
get myself some water. I'm having a little bit of a headache.
Yep.
So give me just a sec.
Yep. Slight water break for us. We'll do this giveaway. We'll come back. We'll talk about the most expensive Multiverse Legends. This set is so stacked, so deep, so much to explore here. It's just nuts. This set is nuts. Next up, by the way, all hail Stream Monarch Quantum with the 20 gifted. Cheers to you, Quantum. All hail. Yeah, Daniel, they all got aced, right? At least most of them got some sort of death scene. Atraxa just got a building collapsed on her. What? Ragavan is the new main character, Dosido. I don't know if you knew this. Hashtag Duo Legends and hitting that like button is going to enter you to win the giveaway. I got 59 eligible users. Hail Quantum. Only confirmed death. BuzzFuzz, I mean... What do you think's happening here? You tell me what's happening in this picture. You think that's some kind of... You think that's some kind of new hat? Like Karn's going, this is the true Balenciaga. The new true Balenciaga.
Is that what happened? Karn holds Elish Norn's head up and is like, no more of this.
He rips her head off. He just walks up and rips her head off.
Just like that?
Just like that.
He's got the Spider-Man symbol on his chest.
Shieldred got executed by Elish. Elish got her head ripped off by Karn. Jin Gitaxias got thrown into a vat of tiny little Jin Gitaxias clones that ate him alive. Vorinclex.
Jeez.
What happened to Vorinclex?
I don't think Vorinclex is a bad guy because he's green, right?
I can't remember what happened to Vorinclex. And then Urabrask got like taken apart but left alive by Elish. Got tortured basically. Oh yeah, Vorinclex got his head chopped off by a soldier on the battlefield.
Wait, really?
Yeah, dude. I forgot about that because I blocked it out of my memory when I was reading it. I was like, oh cool. A 1/1 just took out Vorinclex.
Oh my god, it's like in Starship Troopers where it's like, it's Zem. He got the bug, man. Zem got the bug.
Yeah.
Talking about the big, finally got the brain bug. Okay, yeah. That's interesting. Some rando got Vorinclex. It's funny. I
assumed, it's a corporate game story, and so they can't like take a novel's worth of time online to really get through it. In the last chapter, everybody universally accepted that it felt rushed, but it's going to kind of be the nature of the game, right? And so I was just, when they started early with Shieldred's execution at the hands of Elish, I think actually Ajani did it at Elish's command. I assumed that, okay, so we're going to get the Praetors slowly dying off across all of this story. They're going to break up the 5. But the last chunk of the story was like, oh, Vorinclex gets beheaded. Oh, there goes Jin Gitaxias. He's pulling a vat of little baby Jin Gitaxiases. Oh, we throw him in. He's turning on Elish. Now they're fighting. Here's an opening for the good guys. Thank goodness that happened. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the best. But
Well,
Ragavan
wait
didn't
a minute.
get completed.
Here's what I would say is like, why then?
That's a good question. In general,
No,
just in general, why?
No, I just would want to understand. You know, like if you're going for domination, multiversal domination, and I'm Elish Norn.
Yeah.
Why would I kill Shieldred? Shieldred seems like that would be like one of my buddies, like right hand man kind of deal, right?
Well, all of
We're
the
both
Praetors
offer-
were like, Elish, you're not actually in charge of all of this. And she was like, I am Phyrexia. Actual line.
so they kind of like cannibalized themselves there a little bit and got in trouble.
Right. Which was,
Instead of being in a unified front and being like,
yeah.
all evil Phyrexian Praetors together, they were like, no, I care about when it makes it to the papers who they say is in charge. And Elish was like, well, that's going to be me on the front of those papers. And Shieldred was like, no, it will not, because we have not discussed it.
Right.
And then that seems like Elish not being able to set that aside was possibly her hubris. Yes.
Hubris indeed. Elish,
As it led
again,
to her
Elish,
head being ripped off of her.
Elish was going, I am
bodice.
Phyrexia by the end of it.
It's just a lot to think about, a lot to consider, and a lot to write home about as well.
It's a lot
That's
to
where I
write
would
on the
be
internet
writing.
about.
Yeah.
Let's pull
Corey,
this
maybe
over.
so.
Jake, I found the full, like, sorted out listing high to low here on TCG Player,
Oh,
so we can actually see what some of these prices are pre-sailing at.
yeah. Now, before we get into this,
Are
and,
we,
well,
are
I
we
guess
starting?
we should.
Are we starting it?
Yeah, I'll just start it. I'll start it. That's fine.
Chat, make sure you
normally
say
always
hey to
start these, so I'll
YouTube.
start one.
Chat, everybody say hey to YouTube. We're about to make a little video. If your comment is good, it might be in the video.
So we are going to talk about the multiversal, or I guess the multiverse legends from March of the Machine. We haven't really seen if there are going to be any in the aftermath. So for the sake of this video, we're just talking about March of the Machine and what we've seen. We're going to talk about the most valuable ones. Before we get into this, there are a couple things you should keep in mind, which is, which are Brothers War and what was the other one that we were just talking about? Strixhaven. Do not FOMO out over these. These are going to go through a massive adjustment in price. There are different ones that appear in draft and set boosters versus collector boosters. The Halo foil only appears in the collector booster product. Serialized cards only appear in the collector booster product. All the multiverse legends are going to have a serialized possibility, and then of 500, and then so are the 5 Praetors that flip. Those are all also going to be serialized. So yeah, I mean, we can kind of get into this. There is going to be a lot of like pre-sale prices that are going to go through massive adjustments.
For sure.
So it might behoove you to save this video and then come back in the future and see how big those adjustments are. Even stuff like Ragavan. I expect a lot of these to be entering the market. Even though it's a mythic, we've seen a lot of anytime a set comes out, even if it's a rare or a mythic, a lot of the time the price gets nuked on the card. So how many of these are going to enter? Who knows? But I would expect Ragavan to go through a big price adjustment. So if you are looking for 1 or 2 or 4 or however many you need, this might be a good time to try to find one for a good price.
It's interesting. You've got the 2 Halo foils, which I'm assuming the Halo foils are those are the serialized
That's that new
ones, right?
foiling. Well, no. There's a Halo foil that is not serialized.
Got it.
And then there is a rainbow foil that kind of looks like the FTV foiling
Yeah.
that is on the serialized cards. So you're going to have a different foiling between the Halo foil and the Rainbow foil.
So nobody's promising in these pre-orders here that we're going to pull a serialized and we're going to sell it to you for $288. What they're promising with these is we're going to pull a Halo foil, at least one.
Yeah, which is going to be easy to acquire. If you're opening, like if you're a store doing 60, 100 box openings to get inventory to sell,
right,
you're probably going to run across a Halo foil Ragavan.
When you can see this individual listing here, it's New World Manga. They got 25,000 plus sales. The only thing I see above that regularly is 50,000 plus, and so it's in that like second tier of highest sellers on the platform, which means they open a ton of product. They're promising one. We got one of one available here, and they've initially listed it at $288. The Halo foil of Ragavan. As far as the 1 month chart goes, it has considerably just gone up from 300 to 340 because of FOMO.
FOMO adjustment. I am going to be really interested to see what the price of this card does in the future.
But you can already see it dropping.
Yeah. Any of the Halo foils, yeah, exactly. Any of the Halo foils that are going to be playable commanders, those might have a little bit of a premium, but like we've seen with a lot of sets from Wizards of the Coast, it's just more stuff. It's just more cards printed in more variants. It's just another thing to chase. And one thing I have noticed in a lot of the comments on our videos is there does appear, unless there's a coalition of people that want to pretend that there does appear to be a lot of wallet fatigue. There's just so much back-to-back Magic stuff to buy that it's really hard to ooh and ah over all of the stuff that's supposed to be special and crazy. When we go back to Kaladesh or Battle for Zendikar, when we first saw the chase cards that appeared in the draft boxes, dude, that was something that people were just like, no way they did this. This is nuts. This is crazy. And yeah, I mean, here we are now, and it's just like, oh, they made a big list of great reprint cards and some not so good. Cool. It's pretty sweet.
Sales history on Halo foil Atraxa. First one sold at 175. Public sale here on 330. And now we've already dropped down to 147. Near mint foil there on 4.5, which was today. And that's sort of setting the price. Connor Mraz in chat, you nailed it. You hit the nail on the head. Some of the FOMO is non-existent and just big numbers made up by sellers hoping someone buys it. That's what all
100%.
That's what all this early hype is. You're 100% right. Coming in at third, so you've got Ragavan and Atraxa. I think it's safe to say that Ragavan and Atraxa are the two most hyped right now in this group of Multiverse Legends. Appearing at over 140 for Atraxa currently as of the 5th, and nearly $300 for the Halo foil Ragavan Masterpiece. The next one goes down to 92 and 48. As you can see right there, just for the regular, non-foil, not gonna bend, you guaranteed that it's a playable copy of Ragavan, and you got
big
sales
adjustment,
dude.
Big
seriously,
adjustment.
Look at these. You're over 200, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 copies sold over $200. A week later or so, little more than a week later, we're under 100 and dropping.
Now, do keep in mind, chat, again, in case you didn't hear it in the beginning of this segment, these are going to appear in set and draft boosters. You will be able to find these Multiverse Legends cards in those products. It will not be at the same frequency, but I do believe that draft boosters are going to have one Multiverse Legends card in every pack. Is that correct? There is one in every draft booster? I'm pretty sure that's right. So if there are uncommons and stuff like that, those are going to have their price absolutely tanked. Please do not overpay for these. Give it time, just like everything, and you'll see massive adjustments on this stuff.
On the Multiverse Legends, you got 65 of them. Approximately 4% of set boosters contain a foil etched. A third of the foil etched Multiverse Legends are rare or mythic. You can find Multiverse Legends in draft and set boosters in traditional foil and non-foil. A third of the time, the non-foils will be rare or mythic. so you can pull them.
This is going to be a great time to get Ragavan. I'll just say that straight up. So. It's going to be a good time to get Ragavan.
I really think so. Your third most expensive, I'm going to say third most expensive, even though it is actually the fifth most expensive currently, according to pre-order prices, is the Iker Phyrexian treatment of Skithiryx the Blight Dragon.
This is a good card too.
Looking at our sales history here, this one's not had a huge change, but starting at 40, going down to 30, you know,
lost about 25%.
Right, I was going to say percentage-wise, pretty big fall.
Yeah.
But that's to be expected in these pre-order prices. But this is going to be, bro, this is a desired treatment of this card, right? I mean,
it's a desired treatment, but it really does come down to the frequency at which we see them appear. Because if it's just like one in every pack, I mean, the packs are going to be fun to open.
When you're also going to get the foil etched versions of the base art for a lot of these. And so that's going to add to the available supply. But you can see this has only been reprinted once.
Dosey-Do is absolutely right. Buy these 2 months after the release. Not financial advice, but yeah, that's probably about the window you want to look for.
But I mean, looking at this,
2 months.
Like, if I want to run Skithiryx in a deck, this is the one I want. And now we've seen...
Or the etched one. Some people really like the etched one, too.
People like the etched stuff, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I honestly think if you can start picking these up, if these drop as low as like $15, $20, this to me seems like one in particular that will go back up.
Oh, they'll get soaked up. Yeah, you just have to give it plenty of time. It just has to do with, you know, it really is going to be interesting in like 2 or 3 or even 4 years to look at the price of some of these cards from the start of the variant era,
right,
and see where they went. I've had some weird stuff go up in price. The Royal Scions borderless foil from Throne of Eldraine. I remember buying a Japanese copy for like 30 or 40 bucks when that set had been out a little bit. Now Throne of Eldraine is long gone. I made sure to buy the borderless Oko as well, and those cards have gone up in price. And so, you know, we'll just have to see. Because if Wizards of the Coast is just like, we did Skithiryx again and again and again, then it could hurt the price. But I think you're right. If it does dip down to 15, yeah, that's low risk. It probably won't go much lower than that. And then when it is out of sight, out of mind, and people are like, oh, I want to build this deck and I need Skithiryx, and yeah, the price does creep up to 20. Yeah. It does go up to 25, and it does go up to 30 over time.
Right, exactly. Long term, this seems like a possible $30, $40 card, $50 card, potentially, depending on how often it's reprinted, just like you said.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we look at the Skithiryx before this reprint was announced, where's the one? Why don't we just use Double Masters as an example? I think there was one from then.
Let's look at Double Masters price chart here. So market price 42 is where we peaked on this one, but we were down into the 18, 19, 17s.
Yeah.
And this is just a straight reprint with a different mana symbol and the legendary frame.
Yeah.
Because it didn't have the legendary frame in on the list or in Scars of Mirrodin.
And that is just since Double Masters.
Right. I mean, look at the Scars of Mirrodin pre-reprint. We can't even get over there.
Yeah.
Same. 40s. Strong card there.
Yep.
I like that one more than... It's kind of funny. I like that one more than the Atraxa over time. Just because Atraxa seems like, you know... We got a lot of copies of it. Yarok. And that's recency bias, saying we got a lot of them. We got a lot of Atraxas recently.
Right.
Which is a Praetor's voice. Because if you look at all of the Praetor's voice different copies we've got, you know, we got the Double Masters, we got the Secret Lair, we got the Showcase in Double Masters. It's popped up in 2 different Commander products, and now we got it here.
Right.
And so,
yeah, dude, it's a lot. It's a lot.
But
and they know it's a popular card, so they reprint it, and eventually
and
it's like,
it makes sense to print it around the Phyrexian set, especially when it's a character in the story. And so, 2 years from now, are we going to be going, man, when are they even ever going to reprint Retraxa again? We got to have some kind of Commander set that is willing to dip into history, like the first Commander Legends set. We got Yarok after that. Yarok's the next one down. On this one, we got the foil etched coming in above the showcase. We only have one public purchase on TCG Player anyway, showing our $35 price here. And so for that one, it's tough to call where this one lands. I mean, we're looking at, I actually prefer the showcase on this one just because it's got the different art, and this new art is pretty sick, if you ask me. And I like the Zendikar Rising frame. I think this Zendikar frame is pretty sweet with the triangles. I think I have a thing for triangles though.
Yeah, maybe so.
Elish Norn under that. And this is that Ichor treatment of a classic Commander card.
Yeah, this is the OG reimagined.
Right.
What's up, Kirknall?
Elish Norn. I mean, talk about reprints. OG, Phyrexian, Masters, Secret Lair. That's not paper. Ichor, and now foil etched.
One thing that you could do is you could figure out the popularity of a card based on the number of variants it has. If you knew nothing about MTG, that would be one way to figure out, what cards are valuable. It's the ones that have just the most variants. It's just ridiculous. For me, I don't really know how much, when a card is this readily available, I don't really know how the price can eclipse a certain cap, other than if a deck were to break it, now all of a sudden people need 4 copies of it outside of Commander. So I would still tread lightly with all of these prices. I expect
all of these prices,
the great bottoming out to happen after the set comes out.
If you're watching this video, the point of this video is not to say whether it's a good price to pre-order or not. None of these prices are the price you should pick these cards up at. You should absolutely wait until they start getting opened. This is stores pre-selling cards that they don't even have on hand yet.
Yeah, they want people to FOMO buy them. Because if I were a store and I sell a card at $40, I've said this before, but it's essentially like shorting a stock, dude.
Right.
You're selling something you don't have, and you're saying, here's this thing. You can buy it from me for this price, and then later on, I'm going to buy it back when it's cheap. And then what happens is I get to pocket that difference, right? That's what happens when you short. It's if I'm selling something for 40 and I can buy it back later for 20, I might even have on my listing, hey, I'm not going to be able to get this shipped out for 2 weeks until after the set comes out. And that person buys it. And what are you doing during that 2 weeks? You're waiting for prices to adjust, and then you're finding the card and you're making sure that you could sell it to somebody and fulfill what you said you could do. And what's crazy is that in MTG, it's a lot more predictable than the stock market. And so it's if you know that this generally happens, you could just pre-sell, FOMO sell a bunch of stuff early, and then know that none of this stuff is going to break out. It's all stuff that was already printed, right? Yes. A lot of this stuff is already exists. So unless there's a card in the new set that's going to make one of these get absolutely broken and go over the top, it's going to be easy to guess that none of these are going to break out. So they do look really cool, though. They're SRAM. That's pretty sweet. All of these are beautiful.
I think that all of them
are really cool.
As far as the set within a set, I couldn't agree more. It's such a sick play for a set within a set.
Oh, baby.
It's very Commander-centric. It's very business-minded Commander-centric play against a huge legendary set where they're just yo, Commanders. We've got Commanders combined with Commanders. A lot of these, you can see that the listing here on Scryfall hasn't quite updated with the current pre-order prices, but that's because those pre-order prices are going to be popping off all over the place for the next couple of weeks. You look at Ragavan, you look at Atraxa, you know those are your top 2 hits in that slot. Safe to say your Ichor treatments are going to be up there. Kenrith is one of the most popular commanders.
I have a copy of Croxa, so I will probably get
me too, man.
The other copies if I can, just because I like that card and it is a 4 of in some decks in colors that I like to play.
It's the frames of their plane, and so I have a commander deck that is themed like that with the legends that I run in it, and so I want a lot of these, especially the ones that are Mardu. Pretty much all the ones that are Mardu I want.
Dosido says, why buy these when there will be better variations in the future? LOL.
Well, there's 25,000 cards plus in MTG. We got a lot more to get variants of. They're not going to go too hard. I feel like the last 2 years have been a lot of them like completely just blowing their load, and they've got to back off at a certain point and get back to simpler times. So
what's your favorite of these?
I really like the companions. The companions have made me actually want to build a companion commander deck for the first time, which is pretty cool. But like I said, at these, dude, I'm looking for the Mardu Legends Croxa in their treatment here from their home plane.
I like the Yorion.
Urabrask. Yorion looks tight. I'm a big fan of all the Ikoria ones, honestly.
I like the SRAM. Obviously, the fact that SRAM made it is pretty wild, dude. I can't believe SRAM got a spot, but I mean, SRAM's the man. I love SRAM. It's a great card. And I love that it's finally getting the recognition it deserves, because it's popping up in a lot more decks, and it's such a great card.
This card is implying that SRAM died, because that is a statue.
Let's not get too crazy here.
And the flavor text is a monument inscription. I guess they could have made a monument to a living person, but it seems weird.
Wait a minute. That's not okay.
Uh-oh.
SRAM can't be dead.
Uh-oh.
SRAM died out there fighting this mess.
Like, does that not want to make you build a crazy Garuda deck that's just returning creatures? Doesn't this, dude, as a Rakdos,
that's the face that only a mother could love, am I right? As
a Rakdos damage dealer, bro.
Oh, this one's great.
Like, this makes me want to build an Obosh companion deck. Everything is going to be odd. I love
Obosh decks too. They're cool. They're cool decks.
Odd Obosh, bro.
That is very metal.
And now hang on, I hadn't thought of this, but is this the first time that we've got the flavor or the reminder text of the actual rule after it was errated when they realized that companions were broken? Because it said if it's your chosen companion, you can put it into your hand from outside the game for 3 as a sorcery. And that was not the original rule. So we've got companions now.
Saying, yes, it is.
That's very cool. They errated a rule, and now we have a card reprinted with the actual real rule on it.
They're essentially saying, look, this is something we're probably not going to bring back, right?
Yeah, is that the vibe? They're like, we're done with companion. We tried.
They're good with it. They're good and done.
I think my new favorite frame that I've seen is the Ixalan frame. I think that this
not
is
the emoji?
Dude, my least favorite frame is them taking what was a decent frame and pushing it into horrible territory.
Cringe. Or Magic Arena, bringing Magic Arena to life.
It's just like such an overcorrection. I need to hit the go back button. But the Ixalan frame, dude, the coin, the tribal frame,
coin is pretty cool. Oof. I don't know how the coin is going to like when you're sleeving this, how that's going to affect the sleeving and the shuffling, but we'll see how the coin does. It's
a whole new version of I can't play this because it's bent. I can't play it because it's heavy.
But you can see tons of uncommons that are just bad, that are just, or not bad, but just like there are going to be mountains of these cards, chat. I don't think you understand. I really do. There will be mountains of them. Tons of them.
Imagine pulling Yargle. You're going to. You're not going to have to imagine it. It's going to happen.
Yeah, this card will be 10 cents.
Everybody will go, I pulled Yargle. And then that conversation will be over and you'll be pissed.
I actually, You know, here's my hot take. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I think that Ragavan will be opened so much that card gets down to like 40, 45.
Be careful. I said Dockside would be a $15 card.
Well, that was just insane guess.
Wild finance creator.
That was a wild magic guess there. I do believe that these will be opened so frequently because this means that you're going to have draft packs, right? And correct me if I'm wrong here, but you'll have, if there's one per every pack, you'll have draft packs where you open, 2 mythics. You open the regular mythic for March of the Machine, then you open another mythic. This is going to be a fantastic, very fun draft experience because you're going to have just loaded decks with crazy stuff going on.
Tons of splashy legendary creatures.
Yeah, I think that the monkey will be very cheap. I think all the mythics will be, in general, I mean, how many mythics are there total?
Before I go back and check that, I love the repurposing of the storybook frame into the showcase frame for the plane. I'm a big fan of that, and I just love the art on Kenrith. I think that is the Kenrith you want now. 1, 5, 4 more is 9.
Well, think about this as well, chat. Okay, this is going to be a it's kind of calculated, right? Because this is after they've had that big shift in price to the upside.
Yeah.
And so it's like they're almost like, well, we have to make a stacked draft experience if this is going to be the easing in set of more expensive products. But Ragavan has only ever appeared in an expensive set.
Right.
And I'm talking about money. Ragavan's only ever existed.
For sure.
In expensive packs.
Premium sets.
So if you can pull Ragavan in a draft booster, even if it's a small chance, I think it's going to be I think it's going to go through a big adjustment.
Those are the pre-order prices of the most expensive Multiversal Legends so far. Make sure you let us know what your favorite one is in the comment, live chat. Everybody say bye to YouTube. That's it for us. Talk to us in the comments. Bye-bye. Bye, YouTube.
See you on the flippity. See you later, warehouse.
These, I mean, it's just, dude, I like sets within sets. I am a fan of sets within sets. I think that it's very cool. I think that, the Strixhaven one in particular, I loved how, the like yellow art direction frame of those showcase specialties. Big fan of that. Great Hinge is getting reprinted in Commander Masters. What is that set called?
Is that confirmed?
Is that right? Yeah, dude, it's called it's getting reprinted in Lord of the Rings because it's called the Party Tree.
No.
Yes. It's going to be the one that people want.
When did they do this?
We saw this on the Lord of the Rings preview.
I did not even see this.
Let's show chat. There's the Party Tree. I mean, bro, if you want, I want the Party Tree in my deck. I don't want the Great Hinge in my deck. I want the Party Tree in my deck. Time to play the Party Tree.
That's the Party Tree.
That's the Party Tree right there, baby.
Party time in the Party Tree.
The Party Tree. It's excelente. What I never did was run this giveaway.
Oh, nice. Run it.
J Wall, if you're still here. J Wall. You are the winner. Type in chat if you're still here. You can pick. I tried to pick 2 Phyrexian looking ones. I've got Fenrir. These are art silver matte sleeves. I've also got Loki. Kind of an all gray, spindly art, ink, ichor looking treatment. J Wall, if you're still here, congratulations. Pick either Fenrir or Loki. Let us know which one you want. DM me on Discord. Say my name is J Wall. I won the either Fenrir or Loki, you choose. and this is my shipping address, and we'll get those out to you. So, odd aside question. What's a really good proxy art store? Is it what is it, chat? Making proxies, magic proxies? There's one where you can just like put in a deck list and they will send it to you printed and saran wrapped. I can't remember what it's called.
One I used ages ago was Magic Set Editor, but I doubt anybody uses that anymore.
Make playing cards. That's what it is. Thank you. Make playing cards. I know I've never used a service like this. I have started looking into them because we allow proxies in our Commander League, and it'd be nice just to build that deck, pay a price, and it just gets sent to me and I sleeve it up. Instead of going my normal route for proxies, which is I send them to Office Depot to print and then I go pick them up, and it's excellent, and I don't have to use any of my ink, and it's like $8, and then I just cut them and glue stick them to a bulk common and sleeve them up, and they look excellent. Actually, I have an example I can do right here. So this is what my typical proxies look like. It's perfect print quality, looks exactly like the card, but you can see that little border there. I don't think it's gonna focus up. You see that little line? Yeah, Quantum, a lot of people, I'm just really anal. I can't have my piece of paper slipping around in there. I need it to line up perfectly with the card because my brain cries if it's not. But it like looks perfectly like the card, works especially beautiful on spell table, and it's very, very clearly not a real card. So if I was proxying something crazy expensive, it's very clear that, like, you know, this is a piece of paper on a card, even though it's got a real magic card back. Corey, I've done double-sided tape in the past. I find that you have to rotate where you put the little piece of double-sided tape. One time I did double-sided tape for this same style of proxying a deck, and I put them all in the center, and the deck had a column running through the entire center of the deck that the rest of the deck would like
feels so weird.
So I was like, top left, top right, center, bottom left, bottom right, and like rotating it as much as I could in a pattern so that it was evenly spaced. But I mean, you know, proxied up. This is in a Boulder because I'm a clear Boulder fanatic now. It's the only deck box I ever use anymore. I've just ordered I have a bunch of blank, empty, clear Boulders on my bookshelf back there. Hashtag not an ad. But you can see it doesn't make it that much thick or that much thicker, and it kind of works nicely.
For some reason, the Discord link you sent me is invalid. How do I link the Discord? How do I do that simply from our Discord?
Discord.gg/jajam is our invite link.
Okay, got it.
But here, I can show you this real fast. If you go to
where do I go?
If you go to our Discord, go to the top. You're looking at my screen right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I am.
Up here, click there, and then invite people. Click the little down hash, and then invite people is there. And then you can edit the invite link to even be like how many people can use it, how long it expires after, or if it's just a forever link. But discord.gg/jajam is a universal invite.
Gotcha.
Who's not in our Discord and chat? I just dropped a link there. Actually, it's not a clickable link, is it? Damn it. YouTube chat letting me down. Letting me down. Gorgeous wood carved. If you're not in our Discord, I just dropped a link for y'all. Go join our Discord. Chat about all this and more. And see all of the pictures of food that our members post.
Yes, people post pictures of food.
Dude, my mouse is like dying. I need a new one.
Gotta get this man a mouse.
JWall, make sure you reach out. So we got one more segment for y'all tonight. Yep, that'll wrap us up. We're about 2 hours right now. This one will take us to the 2.5 or 3 hour mark. and we'll be done. I'm on Tastic. We don't run games on Wednesdays. And so actually this is a nice time to talk to the core audience about a little change we're going to try out for a few months and see if it sticks. We're going to start not only streaming on Wednesday nights, but we're going to start streaming on Monday nights as well. Monday nights is going to be our Discord gets to choose what we're doing. It's going to be very gameplay or Commander deck building centric. We've done a couple of Commander community deck builds on our Wednesday streams, and they've gone very well. They're fun for us. Y'all seem to like them. And we also like to play Commander, but there's a constant deluge of news. And so we needed some way to like split up and play Commander, build Commander decks one night, and talk about all the freaking news and prices and cards and all that kind of stuff on a different night. So we're gonna be streaming Monday nights.
Maybe if there's not news, it'll be flexible sometimes. We'll see. Sure. We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Nothing about our lives is rigid. We're not trying to put anyone in a box. But in general,
that's right.
That's basically what we're gonna try to allow in those two is have a little builder or gameplay stream on Mondays and have our jam show on Wednesdays. So yes, to answer your question, Montastic, we will be running games more often. We occasionally run games right now, but 2 stream nights a week. We're gonna try that for a couple months and see how it works. And what we're gonna do, yes, BuzzFuzz, we are gonna give you some power to tell us what to stream. What we're gonna do is the weekend before those Monday streams, we're gonna put a little poll in our Discord and let you choose what we do on that Monday stream. So definitely make sure you are in our Discord if you want to dictate what we do on the Monday streams. You will have that choice.
This person left a dank comment. I'm just going to read it. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Are you guys excited to watch all of the content creators open the heavy boxes? Oh, wait. Hold on. Why is it? Oh, it's not good.
What?
Okay, hold on. I had to expand it. For some reason, it wasn't expanding. You guys excited to watch all of the content creators open the heavy boxes sent to them by Wizards? Almost to guarantee the first batch of product shipped way before the set drop checks all of the juicy boxes to entice. Are you excited?
When are they sending that to us?
This is just a comment on a YouTube video.
Oh, good. If they want to send that to us, power.
Well, we don't. Here's the thing. I don't even know if they know we exist anymore. They don't.
Absolutely know we exist. They are willfully ignoring us now.
Yeah,
and that's fine.
They don't. I think we have I think we stink to them. They think that we're stinky.
That's okay. We like to do our own little thing in our own little juicy corner of the internet.
I like being in this juicy corner with you.
This is our little juicy corner of the internet. They can go get their damn selves a juicy corner if they want one. Thank you, Darren. Okay. Oh, and we did talk mad shit about M30. And about...
Everyone did.
And about Rosewater's fashion choices.
Oh, come on. He knew what he was doing there. They're not even upset about that. That was fine. He was like, I'm going to do this weird sock thing, and that was fine. But no, M30, come on. It's like it's like if you're Rakdos, right? And you're setting up a party and you're rigging all of the knives and traps and shit. And then you tell people as they enter,
a party?
You're like,
you said we're setting up a party and you're setting up traps?
A Rakdos party.
Oh, I missed a very critical modifier of that type of party.
It's like setting up a Rakdos party, and then as people enter, you're like, please be careful. Don't set off any of the traps.
Yeah.
Please don't
Those traps are not for y'all.
Don't fall in the pit of knives over there that we set up on the floor. Please just be careful around here. I'm just like, what did you expect? But that's okay. That's okay. There's this one person. Oh man, there's this one commenter who every video is just like, all of them 30 haters hanging out on this channel, bastion of M30 haters. Always, I always call him a M30 bag holder. So at this point, it's a healthy rivalry. But that's okay. That product went through a massive.
That's one of the things I get into fights with people on the internet about is them being like, look at this little tidbit proves that M30 was a success. Maybe it was, but stop talking to me.
One Birds of Paradise sold for $400. It's good. It's a
Godfather,
good set.
thank you for joining the Token Creatures. We appreciate you being a member of the channel. As a member of our channel, you get our anthem, +1/+1, flying, first strike, vigilance, haste, indestructible, but we do have to sacrifice one of you at the beginning of each upkeep, so look out. Jake, you want to do this last segment and call it a night?
Yeah, internet fights. This is a segment called Internet Fights.
Internet fights are the best.
Yeah.
All right,
What's great about them is each side is always uncompromising.
Chat, I need y'all to say hey to YouTube. Chat, everybody say hey to YouTube. We're gonna start here.
It may or may not make it. We'll see.
Jake, we will let's just read the ones that we picked, or we'll go back and forth or something.
Sure, that's fine.
We'll feel it out. We're gonna start here with hoarding Broodlord, and we know that that's the last one. So chat, say hello to YouTube for us.
I can't see it.
Oh,
I need to see it, please.
Yeah. Oh shit.
If you would to kindly. There we go.
That makes sense.
There we go.
All right, everybody, say hey to YouTube. Let's do this thing. Favorite Commander cards from March of the Machine. Jake and I have pulled a group of cards here. We kind of don't know what each other's picks are. Obviously, I had to pull all these for this video. To make this video, chat here, y'all can help us. Tell us whether you like our picks or not. Viewers after the fact, tell us whether you like our picks or not in the comments. Let's start off. Jake, we actually both picked this one.
Yeah, it's because it's just very good.
Hoarding Broodlord is a black 5/7/6, but don't worry, it's got Convoke, which means your creatures can tap to cast this, either for a generic one or for a color that they are. So you could potentially, if you have 8 creatures with at least 3 black creatures on the battlefield, cast this just by tapping all your creatures, not even tapping any land. It's got flying, and when it ETBs, you search your library for a card, exile it face down, then shuffle. For as long as that card remains exiled, you can play it, and it gives that spell Convoke. This card is bonkers.
Yeah, it's really good. It's just very good. What we know about Convoke, it's very good. It's one of these things that whenever you're able to reduce the cost of something and get it earlier, people explore that. I think that this card is pretty nutty, dude. And the fact that once it's removed, I mean, the card already has that clause on it after you've tutored it. For as long as this card remains exiled, you may play it. So even if the Hoarding Broodling gets removed, I do believe you're still able to cast that card, correct?
Correct. You just won't be able to Convoke it. To have the ability spells you cast from exile have Convoke. The Broodlord, not the Broodling. This guy's a lord. He is no ling.
Oh, Broodlord. Did I say Broodling?
Broodling. You undermine his title.
Well, it's a good thing I don't live in that world that it lives in.
That's a good thing for many different reasons. Jake, everybody watching, turn your head sideways.
I skipped over so many of these because I didn't want to click on them and have to read them.
Dude, battles number 1 aren't, in general, the battles aren't that great for Commander.
Yeah.
Some of them are decent, but dude, I was in this same boat, skipping these things just because I didn't want to turn my head sideways. Invasion of Innistrad. I'll do this one, Jake.
Sure.
2 black, 2 other for a 5. What do you call it? Health battle. It's got flash.
This one's fine. I'll go ahead and read it because this was my pick.
Yeah,
whenever Invasion of Innistrad enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls gets -13 until end of turn. and then it has 5 damage essentially that you need to do to it in order to flip it, and then you get the other side, which is Deluge of the Dead. Now this card is pretty sweet because you're able to exile stuff from a graveyard to build your board, and it's an enchantment, which we all know that I love enchantments, which is the reason that this card made the list. But when it enters the battlefield, create 2/2/2 black zombie creature tokens. So just simply for entering, you're getting 4 power, and then you do have the ability to, you know, target things from people's graveyards, build your board, target from your own graveyard if it means getting a 2/2. It's just a pretty good card. I think it's good.
Yeah, repeatable graveyard.
It does have flash, which is sweet, which is important, and because I mean, it's a tragic slip.
Yeah, right. 4 mana flash, kill anything, pretty much, even indestructible stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a solid removal spell with a Deece graveyard hater, and it creates 2 tokens. Elish Norn. I can't remember if you had this in your picks. I definitely had this one in my picks.
I almost cut all of these just because we were going to talk about the Praetors, but since we're not, I guess it's okay for them to appear in here. I'll just say this about them before you read it.
Sure.
They're all just very good.
Yeah.
They're all
5
really good.
of the Praetors that flip are generically good.
The backside is nutty.
The backside is nutty on most of them, but they're all generically good for a lot of different strategies. Elish here's 4 mana with white 2 Vigi 3/5 Phyrexian Praetor. When a source of an opponent controls deals damage to you or a permanent you control, that source's controller loses 2 life unless they pay 1. And then it's got 3, sacrifice 3 creatures. You exile it, then you return it transformed at sorcery speed into the Argent Etchings, which is chapter 1, incubate 2 5 times. So that's create 5 artifact incubator tokens that all have pay 2, flip this into a creature, and you put 2+1/+1 counters on it. That's what that 2 means. Then you transform them all, so you don't even have to pay the 2. You just create 5 2/2s pretty much, and that is chapter 1. Chapter 2, all of those get +1/+1 and gain double strike until in a turn.
It's enough to end a game right there.
Brutal.
That's just nuts. Yeah.
Especially, I mean, you're building this into a deck where you can sacrifice the 3 creatures on the front. So you already got an Aristocrats thing going. You're creating a bunch of tokens, you know, and then you got a bunch of tokens all on the battlefield. You give them +1/+1 double strike, you're winning. And if that doesn't do it, destroy all other permanents except for artifacts, lands, and Phyrexians, then exile it, and it just turns right back into Elish.
Yeah.
It doesn't even go anywhere. Generically good. You can see the value. This one I put in here specifically because token strategies with sacrifice synergies are already so brutal that this just complements those strategies so strongly. Shieldred also on the list.
Yeah, same thing. 2 black, 3 other for 4 or 5 minutes. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent sacks a non-token creature or planeswalker, and then for 1 black and 4 other, you can exile it, then return it to the battlefield transformed.
You gotta have 8 or more cards in an opponent's graveyard. That's the prerequisite for Shieldred on this one.
Yeah, that's right. But then the backside of the card again is very good. For each opponent, destroy up to 1 target creature or planeswalker that player controls. Then the second part, each opponent discards 3 cards, then mills 3 cards. I mean, that's pretty busted. Each opponent discarding 3. Then put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. Exile the true scriptures, then return it to the battlefield front face up. So then you get Shieldred right back, and you get essentially a Patriarch's bidding for everything.
Right. I love that she has and enters the battlefield as well. So when it flips back over, you get more value out of it, and you just kind of keep the pain train rolling. Pretty brutal one. Loving these. I think the whole cycle is sweet. These, by the way, are in no particular order. So these aren't really ranked in the order that they come. Next up, Jake, I mean, we got the big dumb red enchantment of this set, except it's got Convoke. So it doesn't even have to be big dumb. Good. It's like cheated out. If a source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple that damage instead.
I would play it even without Convoke, but that's how bad a player I am. I like it even if it doesn't have Convoke. It's just, I mean, Fiery Emancipation comes to mind. These are the kind of cards that people like to play with. I mean, and even if you're not running a ton of creatures, even if you just use your commander and maybe one other creature to convoke this out for, 6 instead of 8. And if you're running a pile of mana rocks, that could still be a big deal. This makes everything that you have 3 times as threatening. Yeah. Let's just say that.
Jetmir is actually, Pack Opening Addict said Jetmir appreciates this. Jetmir is actually the commander I was going to bring up with this one, because you want a bunch of creatures on the battlefield. They're able to convoke. Jetmir is growing your line. This is tripling the damage they do. There's just so many decks that want this, and convoke makes it more approachable in that deck. And so I just think that this one is going to be one that, we look in a year and a half and we're like, wow, that's a $20 card now. That's a $15 card now.
What is it right now? It's probably like 5. I mean, it's a rare. So, I mean, Fiery Emancipation was a mythic.
Sorry, we'll just put a cut right there so I can look this up.
No, it's fine. I can look it up.
Oh, I got it. I'm already on it.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah. Just want to type it. It's like $5 right now. Market price extended, $5. It's like a $4 card for the copy you're looking at right here. This is one that I really think is going to go up over time. And then we built this one last week on stream. We got a video breaking down this commander, building our own community deck version of it, and play testing it. It's a Tali.
Yeah, this card's really fun. It is big mana, but it's in the colors for big mana: red, green. 1 or 2 red, 5 other for 7/7 trample. When a Tali Primal Conqueror enters the battlefield, each player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. You may cast any number of spells from among the non-land cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. So this is one of those cards that's really annoying to play on spell table, because you could be getting creatures and stuff. I like it because it reminds me of Wand of Wonder. It reminds me of Chaos Wand. Yeah. It's a card like that. And then for 9 and 1 green Phyrexian mana, you could transform. You get Primal Sickness, which is a Blightsteel Colossus on the other side. So the card does everything it needs to. Just ramp to it and win with it. I love it as a commander. I think it's good in the 99 as well. Yeah, I mean, there's some people that have been talking about playing this in Samut and blinking it. Just like it's a very, like, you don't even need the back of the card. I think the front of the card is good by itself, but the back of the card is just nuts.
Yeah, this is the kind of card you can put in your deck, and when people go, what's your win con in this deck? You go, oh, it's a Tali Primal Sickness. And they're like, oh, yeah, that'll win you a game. Enough said. Got it. Jake, you threw this one on the list.
I think that this is a pretty sweaty card, even at sorcery speed. I just like it because it says can't be countered, and it hates blue and white stuff. And so I think that even though it hits dorks, this was almost a cut for me, because it hits dorks. If you're not playing against anybody with blue and white, you could just kill that. But if you are playing against blue and white, it's a pretty good card. I like that it's very cheap, but it's not that great.
Creature,
it's okay.
Or Planeswalker. Matt Corrales said it. It hates blue and white, so it's CEDH. This is the kind of uncommon that people will explore in the higher power, sweatier formats.
The only thing that holds it back is it's not instant, but it doesn't, in my opinion, because it can't be countered, it doesn't really need to be. It's just very cheap removal in red. Just 1 red to deal 5 to a white or blue thing that can't be countered could mean the difference.
This feels so much like they just didn't have enough room on the text box, but I want this to say choose 1. Its first ability here deals 1 damage to target creature player, or 5 if it's a white or blue, or destroy target artifact. And I'm like, holy shit, this is an excellent utility piece that's going to be ongoingly used forever. That kind of piece being absent from it, or like doing 2 to a creature, just the 1 is kind of tough to wrap your head around. But I do agree, man. I think that this is one to keep an eye on. You know, it is another one of those types of cards. It's got potential. Urabrask making its way into the list as a Praetor. And in my opinion, this is one of the strongest cards in the entire set. I've argued with some people on Twitter about that. Some people have said this is absolutely crap, but I just don't understand how you can read this card and say that's crap. It looks busted as all hell. Red 2 for a 4/4 Phyrexian Praetor. Burst Striker. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it deals a damage to an opponent and you add a red mana. Then, for 1 red mana, you exile it, return it, only if you've cast 3 or more instant or sorcery spells this turn. But remember, your instants and sorceries are adding mana to your mana pool. It flips into 3 damage to an opponent and each creature they control, then 3 treasure tokens, then until in a turn you can cast instants and sorceries from your graveyard. If a spell cast this way, it gets exiled, and then it flips back over into... Sorry.
Urabrask.
And then it flips back over into Urabrask. This one, just the front side. The back side is obviously not as like game-ending impactful as the other Praetors, but the front side is better, in my opinion, than the other Praetors. All of your instants and sorceries are pinging and adding a mana back in. You can just storm like crazy with this Urabrask. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty fun card. I'm a fan of it as well. I think that in constructed, it might be a little more difficult to really get the most out of the card because it is 4 mana. So getting to it and then having a bunch of cantrips afterwards play, that might be a little bit more difficult. And I'm talking about sweatier formats like, you know, Pioneer or Modern. Sure. Once you get to 4, you need to be closing out the game a lot of the time. And so I don't know if it lives there. You know, Storm hasn't even really been at the forefront of Modern for a while. You know, I don't even know the last time that Storm's been a deck. So,
David,
yeah,
Peacock
it is a pretty cool card.
Asks a really good question, and it is important to point this out on this card. Until end of turn, you can cast instants and sorceries from your graveyard, and if it would be cast, it gets exiled. But it finishes by saying exile it, then return it to the battlefield. So you've got the clause. You can cast instants and sorceries from any graveyard, by the way. Instants and sorceries from any graveyard. You've got that clause, and it flips back over to Urabrask so that every time you cast an instant or sorcery, it's dealing a damage and adding mana. So it gets really synergistic with itself by the end of the entire saga. It's so excellent. I want to go back one more time. It's so excellent to have an Urabrask card with art that just looks so dope. Because normally Urabrask art, you're like, what am I looking at? But here we're like, that thing is so sick.
It's like a lizard on a spire or something.
Yeah, with like the X23 claws coming out of its hand. Yeah, I just think that this is such a cool card, and I'm really excited to build it into stuff. Jake, Glistening Dawn.
Yeah, this is one of my picks. And at first I read it and I was like, I don't like much of the incubate stuff. But then I read it and I was like, well, shit, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
2 green, 2 other for sorcery. Incubate X twice, where X is the number of lands you control. And then to incubate X, create a incubator token with X/1/1 counters on it. And it has the transform like we've talked about. So if you are in big mana for 4 here, you could be getting a lot of value. And if you are playing, you know, the usual suspects and stuff like doubling season, it's going to be even more degenerate. But yeah, it's a pretty good card.
It's important to
minimum
know
2 4/4s for 4. Yeah, exactly.
Those incubate tokens are artifacts. And so anything as well that is like counting artifacts, or you need artifacts to sack, or they make your other stuff bigger, you are suddenly dumping, you know, a good number of artifacts onto the battlefield. X twice, where X is the number of lands you control. I mean, that's very strong. Very strong.
Yeah, I mean, if you do it late game, you could be getting
pretty big creatures.
Like pretty big. Yeah. Pretty big is a good way to say it.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how Incubate moves forward as it gets explored well.
And this card is just stupidly good too.
Ozolith, bro. The first Ozolith is dope. This Ozolith, not quite as dope, but still really strong. Green and 1 for a legendary artifact. If 1 or more +1 counters will be put on an artifact or creature you control, that many +1s put on it instead. It's not doubling. It's not degenerate. It's very fair, but it's very strong. Then 2 mana, tap it, put a +1/+1 counter on target artifact or creature you control at sorcery speed. Read that. That means 2. And
I still believe that this is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say
cycling,
you can cycle it away. If you don't want it, you be done with it.
That's what really sold me on the card, dude. The cycling. Just being able to get rid of it to draw a card as well is always a good thing.
It's not crazy busted. It's very fair.
It gets crazy busted with other crazy busted stuff.
For sure.
That synergizes with it that does similar things. It's just redundancy in a very popular archetype.
It's cheap.
Which is why I made the list.
2 mana.
Tim, you don't like it?
Add some counters.
Just not doing enough, maybe?
Tribute to the World Tree. I believe this one was just on my list. Or did you include this one as well, Jake?
I had it as well, yeah.
Tell us about Tribute to the World Tree.
Yeah, 3 green for an enchantment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card if its power is 3 or greater. Otherwise, put 2 1/1 counters on it. So it's good or great. It's great or awesome. It's just generically just great enchantment to just sit on the battlefield and generate value and
adds
make
to
everything stronger.
All of those green enchantments that are like at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a creature with power 3 or greater, draw a card. Or when a creature enters the battlefield with power 3 or greater, draw a card. It just goes right alongside all those enchantments, adds to the redundancy of those effects.
Yep.
You're growing your small stuff. And this is whenever a creature enters the battlefield. Selesnya tokens, how you doing? Selesnya tokens creating 1/1s. Nope, you're creating 3/3s, dog.
I mean,
and if you've played token strategies, you know how big the difference can be between a line of 1/1s and a line of 3/3s.
Avenger of Zendikar and like a bunch of 3/4 plants or 2/3 plants coming out.
I love David Peacock's assessment of this. It seems very playable. Yes, correct.
Yes.
Plus you're drawing the cards if it's a big creature. I mean, it's everywhere you want to be.
Dude, I had no idea that this card was already like $70 pre-sale.
Well, it's 3 mana.
I had no idea.
3 mana 4 Loyalty Walker's going to break out of just Commander. Going to break into constructed formats. You know, Planeswalkers aren't super popular in Commander already, but this one, the reason for me that I put it on the list, I don't know, did you put this on? I didn't put this on because typically I skip over the Planeswalkers unless they're like absolutely game breaking. I can win the game if I can pull the thing off. And casting lands and permanent spells from the graveyard, it's a really strong emblem for sure, but it's not exactly going to win you the game by itself. But it adds to all the mana fixing. Perfect. It's like a Chromatic Lantern Planeswalker.
Yeah, what's silly and what sold me on the card was I was like, this seems like a Planeswalker that they have really pushed for Commander in a weird way. That lands you control, the +1, making a land of Vigilance hexproof, 3/3 until your next turn, so it can protect Ren and Realm Breaker. It's got the mill 3, then you may put a permanent card from among the milled cards into your hand. It seems like it's got a lot going on. And so at 3 mana, I was like, I mean, clearly it's going to be played and constructed.
Yeah.
Anybody who doesn't mess around with this card, you could get this online as early as turn 2, dude. So it's like, yeah, man, I think it's going to be good either way.
I think the +1 on this, personally, I hate the +1 on this. I don't want to turn my lands into creatures that'll die from board wipe, and it leaves it as a creature once you've done that. Yes, it protects it, but you need to be playing this in like a heavy lands. You're ramping your lands out very, 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 very quickly. I love the -2 here. And people in chat, people that are watching this after the fact, let me know what you think about this. If you've ever built a deck where you want to self-mill to resurrect, those effects are fairly few and far between. You don't think that when you go, I want to self-mill so I can build a reanimator deck, you don't think you're going to have any, lack of self-mill effects, consistent self-mill effects to really pull that off. This is milling 6 cards and getting something back if you need it in the moment, and you're not just gonna like animate dead on it or whatever. it will allow you to at least mill 6 cards. That's the one part of this that I like. I think that past that,
You don't like the +1?
as a passive mana fixer, I like it, but as the +1, it just I don't like the danger of turning one of my lands into a creature and somebody goes, I'm gonna play Dam, and suddenly
Unless it's a Darksteel Citadel, right? Then you're good.
If you are turning a Darksteel Citadel into the 3/3 Vigilant Hexproof Haste Indestructible, yeah, okay, you got me.
Yeah,
that'll work.
Okay,
but
no, maybe so. Maybe I did kind of like overvalue this one. I was very surprised by the price, but I was like, you know what? I don't hate that +1, but I do see what you're saying. It just one of your lands or however many lands that you decide to do this with are just going to die to any sort of shenanigans unless you're protecting them. POA says it'll be sub $10 after release. Pack opening addict, do you think it's super overhyped?
We'll see where it ends up. See. Kagla and Yadaro, we have talked about this in our ranking tier listing duo commanders. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. ETBs,
I just like it for the 99.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like such a good Gruul 99 card. 6 mana, 2 red, 2 green, 2 other 7/7 ETBs. It can either trample haste and get to work, or it can kill most of anything that's going to be on the board. 7/7 is killing most anything on the board and surviving. And then, if it's in your hand, you can pay 4, discard it, destroy an artifact or enchantment, shuffle it into your library, and then draw a card. So for 4 mana, you're gaining a card, you get this back into your library, and you're destroying an artifact or enchantment. This is a really good 99 card.
100%. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of this.
Yeah,
plus
it's one of the best cards in the set for the 99, which is why it's on the list.
You read my mind, dude. That creature type is interesting. Ape, dinosaur, turtle.
What are they holding there?
A Phyrexian. It looks like they're about to suplex a giant Phyrexian.
Oh God.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely.
I'm happy that Yadaro got brought back.
Same.
Kind of sad that card never really did anything.
Kagla did things. Kagla did a lot of work.
Kagla does things. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm a big fan of that one. Did you have this one on your list, Jake? Or just me?
I did not.
Okay.
This is you.
5 mana sorcery that says exile all creatures. So you're paying 1 more than a generic board wipe and everything gets exiled. Then you incubate X. This is like Phyrexian Rebirth, except it's 1 mana less. It exiles all creatures instead of destroying them. And you get an X/1/1 incubate token that for 2 becomes a creature. And you're ready to attack after a board wipe. So it does my favorite thing and what I constantly preach, which is it on the same turn that you board wipe starts reinvigorating your board.
Yeah.
I've seen variants of theories and opinions on this one, from this is horrible all the way through this is bastardo.
Well, it's because the exile is what makes it worth considering, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it's like just run a 4-cost board wipe.
Of course, or run Dam, which is a modular board wipe,
Mm-hmm.
or run Vanquish the Horde, which is a cost reduction board wipe.
Right.
The only reason that it is even on the list is it is a 5 mana exile all creatures. And it leaves you with board position after. It's just one of my favorite cards in the set. I'm a big fan. Artistic Refusal. You pulled this one, didn't you?
Oh, okay. I'm medium on this card. This was a maybe. This was a maybe pick, but I'm happy that you put it on the list. We can talk through it.
Absolutely. I'll talk the merits of this one with you. I like it.
Yeah, choose one or both. But I like that you can convoke this down.
That's the only reason you'd want it.
Well, obviously, yeah, that's the only reason you want it. But then choose one or both. So for essentially 2 blue mana, if you reduce this, you're countering target spell, then you're drawing 2 and discarding a card. That's a lot. That's
if you have 2 blue creatures, you can reduce it down to 0. Because you can convoke a mana that creature's color on too.
Yeah. So I mean, could be good.
Yeah, Dosey Does nailed it here. Free counterspell alert. That's why so normally when we make these lists, I dig through the mythics, then the rares, and then I typically stop. Jake likes to go through the uncommons and make sure that we're covered on that aspect as well. And this one is a beautiful find for this because I'm tapped out, but I still have a counterspell in my hand because I have 6 creatures on the battlefield and at least 2 of them are blue, right? That is...
So maybe in like a Go Wide Flyers, something like that. It seems like a nice budget.
Dude.
Nice budget spell.
Millicent Spirits was one of the first decks I built last year. And that is Go Wide in the air with blue and white flyers.
K-Spice says, I would choose both. Big brain play.
Absolutely.
I would prefer to not draw the 2 cards, please.
I'm going to counter your spell, but I don't need an extra card. What are you talking about?
And then the opponent says, well, yeah, because you're about to be milled.
David,
and clearly you don't want to draw.
Your creature does not have to have haste or have summoning sickness off of it to participate in a convoke. You can use a summoning sick creature to participate in convoke. Like I was saying,
it's a condition of the card.
Correct, not of the creature.
Right.
Millicent Spirits was one of the first decks I played last year. Played it for like a month and a half. This is the exact kind of card that would gone in there. We're building, we're putting a lot of flying spirits on the battlefield. We got some random blue creatures in there that can pay for the 2 blue pips. You're filling back your hand after you're, attacking, playing all your cards onto the battlefield. One of the weaknesses of a creature deck, you need to keep a hand full so you can keep a big board presence. I like this uncommon. I think it's a nifty little uncommon. As do I think this is a nifty little uncommon, and I think CEDH players are going to go,
It's pretty spicy, bro.
Counters
1 blue.
Counters Winota?
Yeah, 1 blue, 1 other for change the equation. Choose 1. Counter target spell with mana value 2 or less, or counter target red or green spell with mana value 6 or less. So it's good either way, man. I like it both ways.
Yeah.
And I like it in the sweaty format too.
I keep sort of a side eye on CEDH meta, and Winota's a really strong deck in that. And, being able to counter the Winota for a blue and 1 or have other options on there, I'd have to go and see. I'm not a huge CEDH like master by any means. And so I'd have to go and see how much like 1 mana interaction is there and if there is a room for this. And yeah, you got Hugh Murphy there in chat saying Blue Elemental Blast doesn't see much play. This probably won't. So
but
it would have to fit into the meta.
A good casual commander card as well, though, because there's a lot of relevant targets, even if you're not playing against red or green, which you probably will be playing against red or green if you're playing some commander. So that's just like, it just seems like an easier.
Jake over here arguing for the counter spell in casual Magic, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I know.
Chrome Host Siege Shark. This was one of my first picks, man. I love anything that lets you cast a spell, non-creature, and create a creature off of it. Kind of like Talrand. You're casting instants and sorceries, you're getting 2/2s. This is similar to that for me. A blue and 2. Whenever you cast a non-creature, you incubate X, where X is that spell's mana value. So basically, you get a creature that for 2 more mana will be an XX based on the non-creature spell that you cost. And so
it's like Baby Sharknado. It's like Avika. It's like any of these spells that are going to allow you to get value by casting non-creature spells.
Right.
It's a great little piece.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of extra value off of your casts, and so this was definitely one that I looked at,
and it looks cool.
Yeah, I mean the art is cool. It's
very weird.
Definitely a card I like. All right, everybody. Jake's gonna read this one to us. Everybody, turn your head to the left.
Oh, boo! All right. Whenever invasion of where is this? Arcavios?
That's Strixhaven. Strixhaven is the school, Arcavios is the plane.
Got it. Whenever Arcavios enters the battlefield, search your library, graveyard, and or outside the game for an instant or sorcery card you own. Reveal it and put it in your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle. So I know that it's a little bit expensive, but the back of it just leads to degeneracy.
Yeah, if you're able to get the 7 damage on this thing and flip it into an enchantment that says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery from your hand, you get to copy it. Brutal. Ridiculous.
Yeah, and the front is allowing you to get like anything you want. So it's a very interesting front of the card as well, but it is an expensive tutor at 5 mana.
Yeah, it lets you look in your library, graveyard. Love that. You go get it even if you used it. Go get that critical one you need. Andrew Butterworth, I haven't read all the battles either because I'm an old man and I'm resistant to new things.
Andrew, I don't like reading them either. It's my least favorite thing about the set.
I'm all in favor of new card types, but man,
don't make me turn my head, please.
With the internet, me having to turn my head is a big bummer.
We should complain to Joel. He should have changed the orientation on all of those cards so that we could have just read them easily.
Yeah, I had plenty of stuff to do to prep for this one. I wasn't about to go through and resave PNGs.
Oh, come on.
C double. Blue 2 instant spell can't be copied, but you get to choose one, and if an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, which is going to be easily achievable, you can choose both. Copy a spell, you can choose new targets, or create a token that's a copy of target creature. I just think this is so much value. You obviously only want to cast it when you can do both things, but 4 mana, instant speed, so you can do it as a trick. Somebody goes to remove your thing, we're going to copy that spell, remove your thing as well, and we're going to create a token copy of the creature that you tried to remove and still have it. Suck it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I like that it says it can't be copied. Thank you. That
oh my god, dude.
greatly decreases the confusion.
Right. Well, I don't like I don't like to read, so I don't like complicated cards. So if this was able to be copied, I'd be like, nah, I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, we're good on that.
Too much. But
yeah, just a little too over the top.
This is such a shenanigans instant speed spell to me. I definitely wanted it on the list.
Yeah, it seems great in almost every blue deck, right?
Right. Yeah, very strong. And then we've got Zephyr Singer. Jake, did you see this one? I had this one on my list. 2 blue, 2 other, 3/4 convoking siren pirate with flying and vigilance. Enters the battlefield, put a flying counter on each creature that convoked it. So you can turn 4 creatures permanently into flyers.
It's good. It's very good. I don't know, like...
Instant flying on 4 different creatures, bro, is all you need. I know you don't really like creature-based decks, but I'm telling you, this card can be a win con in the right conditions because suddenly your whole field is flying. And you can do this. Oh my god, dude. I am such a huge fan of this creature. It seems so pushed to me. I think a bunch of these convoke cards we're going to look back on in like a year and go... what were they thinking with this much convoke and all of these payoffs for convoke? It was already good. You're already cheating stuff out for free. Why do we need all these additional payoffs?
Yeah.
But
you brought this up, the sorcerification of Magic the Gathering, where like everything now has an insane ETB on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It all does.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to keep making cards. You're not going to run out of set with 3 3s for 3 and no other text.
Sadly. Yeah. It has to be like an 18-6 for 6 in order for people to be like, oh, all right,
yeah,
it's something fine. Without text.
You can leave it.
Oh, and then this card, yes.
Archpriest of Shadows. This is the main one with backup that I really liked. Backup is a really good ability. You put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and it can be this creature if you just want a +1 counter on it and you don't have a target. But if you put that +1 counter on a different target, it gets all of the abilities on the rest of this card until the end of turn. So it grants for 1 turn to a creature death touch, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or battle, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Straight up. So you can get sneaky with it. We were just talking about, decks that have unblockable creatures to get through in a different video. Drop that +1 counter on a creature that says can't be blocked. Boom. You're returning a target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield straight up. It also gives it death touch, so it's de-incentivizing blocking. And then at the end of the day, if you're not even able to get tricky with this, this is a 5/5 for 5 with death touch that says when it deals combat damage, return a creature from the graveyard to the battlefield. You still get that. This card is just bonkers to me.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun one. I like anything that's like graveyard to the battlefield is good when it doesn't get like exiled or anything like that. I like it.
Sure. Yeah. If it doesn't die to removal, it can do the thing. But I think that this one with that backup ability is going to allow you to sneaky do the thing at least one time with like your flyer, hit the person that doesn't have a flyer, with your trampler, hit the person that's tapped out with no board. You know, I think that this one has a lot of potential. And that brings us back to Hoarding Broodlord. Let us know what your favorite commander cards are in this set. That was a big group of our favorites from our initial exploration of March of the Machine. Make sure you like and subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. We'll catch you later. Everybody in chat say bye, YouTube.
The Praetors that we didn't bring up, honorary mention because they're also good.
Yeah, they are also good.
Yeah. Vorinclex, we didn't talk about, also good.
Jin-Gitaxias,
also good.
Generally the Praetors are strong. They're
generally strong.
Strong generally. Oh, chat. How's everybody doing? How are we feeling? I'm feeling tired. It's 12:24 over here on the East Coast. Like I said, we are planning to be back live Monday. Try that consistently for a little while. Make sure that you are in our Discord so that you can help us decide what we're building or what we're playing. What we're doing on Mondays is up to you. I just dropped a Discord link there in chat. Make sure you go jump in there. All hail the Stream Monarch. $60 with the gifted subs tonight. Thank you so much, Quantum. You're rock. I hope that everybody who got one of the gifted subs said thank you to Quantum. Quantum responds with the Jake Money emote.
Genesis says get into Modern. You know, that's a format I've always liked. There's a fun new mill card that came out that's like target player mills 3 cards and then you can return one of their lands under your control. There it is. That thing.
Realm Breaker.
Target opponent mills 3. Put a land card from their graveyard onto the battlefield tapped or into your control. So it plays really nicely with Hedron Crab. I don't even care about the other part of the card. I don't give a shit about it. I don't give a shit about that thing that says 10 and tap. I haven't even read it. But the thing here that's 3, play this. I like it.
Pay 2, tap it. Target opponent mills 3 cards. Put a
and
land
when you're
card.
playing 8 crab, and when you're playing 8 crab and you have crabs that want lands.
Right.
Yeah. It mills 3, you're playing with your crabs. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's a little expensive at 3, but
this is what he's talking about, chat.
A Luris version of this. But yeah, it plays the Hedron crabs and the Ruin crabs, which essentially do the same kind of thing. And then yeah, this is a little different. They normally all run Archive Trap. Oh, and Mesorbs. Yeah, this is actually pretty similar to my deck. Pretty similar. And I actually like Visions of Beyond. I might even cut. And the reason I might cut Visions of Beyond is because there's a new spell that just came out in March of the Machine that lets you convoke, draw 2 cards at instant speed, and you could convoke it out with your crabs for free. Because once you get your crabs on the battlefield, you don't even need them.
Sorry about that, chat. I was still on our shooting screen from the last one. We were talking about 8 crab modern mill, 4 Hedron, 4 ruin crabs, so they're milling 3 every time you drop a land. Got a lot of
Yeah, Justin knows. Meeting of the Minds. Look up this or meeting of the Minds. Yeah, that.
Convoke, draw 2 cards.
Like if I have a bunch of crabs out on the battlefield,
Yeah.
and I could just tap them, they don't even need to swing. I could just draw cards. Seems good.
Yeah,
Seems good.
I like this tree. I like this tree. What do you do? Run 2 of these? Run 3 of these?
Probably because you're running mesmeric orbs, probably like 3 of them, because your mes orbs are going to be milling a bunch of your stuff to the yard as well every time you tap lands, so you'd be milling your own stuff. But I do like this because it's a renewable thing that mills, and then you know that you're getting the land. I wouldn't play it if you didn't get the land. It's just way insanely slow.
Well, of course.
I might run it as like a 2 of, maybe a 2 of.
Yeah, it's only relevant because it's got the land thing, but that's wildly relevant with that deck, which uses landfall to mill pretty consistently. You gotta run. You gotta bolt the crab, right? If you're playing against the mill decks, so.
Yeah, and because there's so much removal in it, sometimes you get to like turn 5 and 6 where you're just like, I could play that and immediately tap it for 2, mill 3, get a land, and then once you have like 2 crabs on the battlefield, I mean that's the big thing that you have to do as the opponent on this one, is you just have to make sure that I don't get crabs on the battlefield. But yeah, it's cool. This deck, it never gets off the ground, but it's always fun to tinker with.
Have you played it with Luris? I mean, I think Luris is actually a really strong way to take this because you can get your crabs back.
No, I haven't played it with Luris. No.
And you don't play any other creatures in there or any other permanents, right? Besides Mesmeric Orb and the crabs. So it just automatically goes in your companion zone. You don't even have to do anything. Just add Luris.
Yeah. It's just an extra thing to do. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Pay the 3,
Not
put it
bad.
in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Original reminder text on this copy of Luris. If this card is your chosen companion, you may cast it once from outside the game.
Yeah.
Because that was fair.
I have seen the new art for Luris. It's pretty sweet.
Chat.
I will be putting on my patience pants though, and not FOMOing out, because you don't do that anymore with this game.
If we can teach you anything, do not FOMO. Chat, that's going to do it for us tonight. We love you all dearly. When you see these videos pop up, even if you saw them live, just go comment, I saw this live, I was there. Hit the like button and give us a smooch. You know, help out the YouTube stuff. If you want to go join our Patreon, that's the best way to support us directly as we move towards full time with this. A lot of good perks over there. Play in the Commander League. Get into Foil Quest when that comes back up. We'll probably get Foil Quest going again on Lord of the Rings. Definitely by Commander Masters.
Oh, no, that isn't a dated list, because Luris did get hit with a ban. That's right.
Oh, it's banned in Modern?
Banned in Modern. Yeah.
Ah, dated list.
Thank you for reminding us on that. I thought that it was. I knew that it was banned in Pioneer, so I was about to be like, no, I don't think it's banned in Modern, but no, I knew Pioneer and Legacy, but then
it's
that
so
must have been
wild. If you search Modern 8 Crab MTG Goldfish, that the first list that comes up has got a ban list. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Firehound, we appreciate that. Everybody, thank you so much. That was a good night. I had a good time. I'm tired of shit and my voice is tired. So I'm gonna go to bed. Love you all. I mean it.